Noodles.
Noodles? Where?
Yeehaw! It's Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to Recall Knowledge presents Outlaws of Alkenstar, a show where Pathfinder enthusiasts say the word noodles when we go live and play through your favorite adventure path. I'm your GM, Steve, and I'm joined by Ricardo, Richard, Ninna, and Tommy. Go ahead, everyone, and say, howdy, cowboys.
Only for more noodles.
Howdy, cowboys.
Will work for ramen.
Everyone joining us for the first time, welcome, and everyone who's been with us before, welcome back. We're happy you're with us. As usual, we are definitely playing tonight on our Foundry VTT using the new premium punks in a Powderkeg module. Make sure to grab your copy if you haven't already. It's absolutely amazing, and shout out to Drake Fate with the subscription at the top of the show. We appreciate all of our fans checking in, and this is a good time to get your subscription in, and we can shout you out. But thank you, Drake Fate. Right. Before we get started tonight, because we got some gameplay to get forward looking to, we do need to give a big shout out to our lead sponsor for the night, the one, the only, Molten Hosting.
Woo! Yeah, Molten.
Ooh, why are they so hot?
It's definitely not cold.
Big shout outs to them, and we are returning with this sponsorship to our Molten Verse cereal. When we last left off, the Molten Cowboy and Calamity Jane were being chased by a pack of gnolls through the mana wastes, atop their trusty steeds. In a dramatic attempt to lose them, the pair headed directly towards a looming mana storm. What perilous fate awaits our duo? Let's find out during this intense horse chase scene.
Jane, this mana storm seems like you're putting your whole head in the butter. Bang, bang. Have you ever done this before?
Just once, Johnny. Just once.
This is madness, Jane. Last time we rode into a mana storm. Don't you remember the consequence?
We don't have any other options, Casanova.
Guys, I can't find my horse noises button. Shit, what did I do with it? God damn it. Horse noises. What exactly happened?
Let's just say Jane was not the same ever again.
What does that mean, Jane? I ain't no 10-cent man, but I also ain't no yellow belly. Bang, bang.
Johnny, we had a lot of my firsts together, don't you remember?
Criminy, Jane, was I your first?
Hang on. Oh, don't go cracking up. No, you don't. What I mean to say is, do you trust me?
Bang. No, not really. Not the way we left things.
Maybe if I hit spacebar, it'll go horse noises. Horse noises. Wow, that really worked. Holy shit. Oh, you blubbering fool. Can't you see she's here because she loves you? You are meant to be together. I've listened to you sing sad songs for years now about the one that got away. Don't be so stubborn. Not about this. Not about love.
Well, butter my biscuit. Has Old Faithful turned into a romantic at last?
Take my hand, Johnny. If we die, at least we die together.
Well, that does put a bee in my bonnet. To acknowledge the corn, I'm having a hog-killing time. Despite the circumstances, feels like old times again, us together. Anything is possible.
I haven't felt this good in a long while, Johnny. Not since I first discovered Molten Hosting. Their easy to set up service, Foundry VTT cloud hosting solution, and amazing tech support made me feel things I hadn't felt since I left you.
And by using the code Recall Knowledge at checkout,
It's
One word.
one word.
you can even have your first month of service free.
Whoa, wait, this is like the third time you've mentioned Molten Hosting in the last 10 minutes. What is going on? Am I in a commercial or something? Horse noises.
I know the feeling there, Jane. It's been a while since I was feeling more than middling myself.
What? Molten Cowboy, are you listening to me? Can't you at least acknowledge it's weird to constantly bring up Molten hosting every few minutes? Especially since we are running for our lives?
Forget it. They're too busy making out up there on top of us.
Oh.
Guys, let's get into the Mana Storm. It's now
I'm
up
not
to
in
us,
that.
friend.
Fucking hell. Fine. Into the fray one more time, old friend. Let's do this.
As our group disappears into the Mana Storm, we see the beautiful sparkling colors of lightning emitting from within the large dust clouds. The Molten Cowboy, Calamity Jane, Old Faithful, and Casanova are swallowed up along with their pursuing gnolls. What fate awaits them within the swirling vortex of unpredictable magic? Find out next time Molten Hosting sponsors the show. Woo!
Woo! Bang noises.
Oh, you guys!
That was
did a
so
good
chaotic.
job.
That was a
That was so
That was my fake. Can we just do that more and more weird? That's what she
That's
said for
so
5
funny.
minutes.
yes.
Oh my fucking god.
In the meantime, make sure you head on over to moltenhosting.com and sign up for your Foundry VTT cloud hosting experience. And as we said, use the code Recall Knowledge
One word.
It's just one word.
during checkout. And you can get your first month of service completely for free on us and Molten Hosting. Thank you for being our sponsor tonight and making all of this chaos even possible.
Thank you. You guys are hot.
Not cold.
They're so hot.
That was a little bit of a crazy episode. I don't know. I like spring. I if you guys don't know at home, most of the time I spring it on them right before they go live, so they have no idea what's coming until just a few minutes before we record it. So
What are you talking about?
Tough.
We rehearsed that scene for weeks. Steve.
Yeah, I practiced horse noises so long.
okay, well, don't take my word for it. Take the cast's word for it. So,
Jeez.
anyways, I think that does it for announcements tonight. Viewers, go ahead, sit back, relax. But players, let's jump into tonight's episode 9 of Outlaws of Alkenstar, as we continue playing Punks and a Powderkeg, written by Vanessa Hoskins.
All right, kneecaps, here we go.
Let's go!
Woo!
Okay,
That
no more
means slap.
teleseries.
And we are back.
Serious business time.
This stream, this show is nothing if not completely serious all the time. The camera fades in over the Steamhaven area of Smokeside, here in the city of Alkenstar. Even before we fade in from black, the click-clacking of never-ending progress continues its rhythm. We see an unassuming building coming into view, the Yeast of All Brewery. Its boarded-up windows signal the end of somebody's, now repossessed by the banks. As we push closer, the haze of the smog clears up just a bit. We can see the brewery sitting right on the edge of the city, not far from the infamous Ironside Corridor. In the distance, a hint of the Whaling Scrapyard and the Gold Tank Reserve can be seen blurred off in the background in the distance. And as the camera pushes in closer to the brewery, we see the business in the district continue their very useful contributions to society. Click-clack, click-clack. Here, through the loading docks of the now abandoned brewery, we find our 4 outlaws, Saruk, Refacule, Halbrand, and Anita. In a few days, or in a day, they'll be tasked with escorting one of the most desired celebrities in the entire city to a safe house, Vashon Gattlebee. His recent invention, a powerful explosive dubbed Pyronite, has kicked off a storm with all sides looking to control the formula. And our outlaws, working as unwilling undercover agents of Alkenstar, or one Phoebe Dunsmith, are here to retrieve something. The only problem is, they don't know what. Gattlebee has stated part of his terms for coming into protective custody is to stop by this abandoned brewery, and our outlaws, with their interest piqued, have come to clear the place of any potential threats, and hopefully find whatever it is that would tempt a man out of safety and into the crosshairs. And as the camera pushes in, we see the group of outlaws with Anita and I'm presuming Wybert as well, all arriving on the scene. A bit of time passing since our last weeks, and the floor is yours.
No, Annie, you see, right there.
Yeah.
Tusks just wouldn't back down. Couldn't believe it. Just wouldn't back down. Had to get in this room. So, what was I to do? I shot a guy. But, shot him in the knee. Eh?
Fortunately, Majagua is a little fuzzier on the subject of kneecaps. I wonder where they went.
Yeah, by the time you got back, they've cleared out. All the tents are gone. Everything's packed up. It is completely empty, this sort of room. There's not a sign of a single one of the Iron Hunters.
So while we were at the saloon earlier, you boys mentioned that there was maybe another version of a Wyber in here.
I don't know. They made it out like they'd activated something inside the brewery, and I am under the presumption that it will resent us being here. So, yeah, short answer.
Maybe that's what your old friend Vashon wants in here. Maybe he's got like a bigger, badder version of Wybert.
I don't know. Pyronite seems to really be his baby. I'm not sure if he's going to go out of his way to make his own Wyber. But who knows? Never really know with that man. That's why he's such a mental.
What if it's a Wybert made out of Pyronite?
Then we would die, Ruffy.
Seemed pretty effective then.
Not only would we die, but the entire city of Alkenstar would also die if it was Pyronite the size of Wyber.
That strong, is it? Huh?
Yeah, it blew out almost half of the college. It's amazing, really. Such a feat. Alright, so how far have you all been in here?
If I take one more step, it'll be the furthest step that I've taken here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alright, Samwise.
Yeah, so in this sort of warehouse, because this is the first time Anita started joining, you look around. Where previously there were tents, that's all cleared out. The crates have kind of been cleared away. They were pushed up against the door to sort of barricade this room. that is no longer the case. All that's left here is dusty crates and empty barrels, giving what is very clearly once was like a warehouse to store things, but in its abandoned state, it is completely just empty crates and barrels.
Is there light in here?
I think because you guys have the sort of door open, and actually in this place it's still daytime. There's skylights in most of this place, so it is just lit in the room everywhere. Yeah,
It's lit, y'all.
we'll say.
Yeah.
Well, okay. You know what? It's not entirely clear as written, so I'll let you guys tell me. Is it dim light or is it bright light? Some of you would prefer dim light. Others of you would prefer bright light.
If it's just skylights and things and there's not actually light in there, then I would say there's a bit of both, wouldn't it? Would there be? I mean, you can't have a whole roof of otherwise that'd be a pretty expensive factory.
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to lean more towards that it's visible, but everything's mostly in dim light, other than certain pockets right under the skylights, So like the corners of the room are a little in the dim light. It's bright enough that you don't need like torch to see or anything, Anita. But unless you have low light vision, you may be making flat checks against things in the dim light.
Oh, Saruk, hang on a second before we go further. The thing that we talked about, and then I pull out an elixir, a cheetah's elixir. Here.
Appreciate it.
All right. So I'm not going on the front, but I will support whoever it will be.
And Sorg, you've activated your armor at this point, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Power Rangers activation. Did you spend the last week coming up with your Power Ranger transformation speech?
It's morphin' time. It's the only one you need.
Perfect.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're sort of in this exploration mode where time kind of flows in 10-minute chunks or so until anything happens. What's your default character behavior action? And kind of just generally, What are you doing? Scouting, keeping an eye on things.
Looking at the front door, listening at this door where Saruk's standing here at the other end of this entranceway. Got
it. So definitely like on the lookout for any, like basically for any sort of danger. Not like a searching aspect, but a scouting, like you said, the exploration activity. Scout. As a scout, that makes sense. And then does anyone else have any like sort of default behaviors to fall back on unless told otherwise?
Now, I'd like to be searching, just seeing if there are any discrepancies that we would think that would be important, or anything that would clue us in as on what Gattlebee is hiding in there.
Okay, perfect.
I'm gonna I feel like Saruk is treating this as a like go in, breach and clear kind of thing. So it's just like get to door, get shield up, get ready, knowing that there's probably something that's going to be very mad at us on the other side, just ready to catch something with his shield.
Okay.
Ruffy's a little bored. He's just leaning against the crate, twirling his pistol.
Okay. Looking for more kneecaps.
Just, twirling, holstering, unholstering, twirling, holstering.
This room has a door on the far south end. Other than that, it doesn't appear to have any way in or out other than the sort of loading dock doors that lead back out to the street. What are you guys doing?
Hear anything, Saruk?
That is the $1 million question. Do I hear anything?
Go ahead and give me a perception check, a secret perception check.
Keep it secret. Don't look at Twitch.
Okay. You press at the door, and the doors here are pretty well made. They haven't rotted or anything like that, so the wood is still in pretty good shape. But as you press your ear and listen for any sort of movement on the other end, it sounds quiet. You don't hear anything through the wood.
I got nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing making a loud noise. And if you want to do the same, Rick or Hal, Ricardo as Hal, you moved up to the door too, so you can press at the door and listen as well.
Secret blind GM roll of perception.
Just to see what we see. Perfect. You listen. You do pick up a little bit of noise, sort of like a faint hum, but nothing loud and nothing that sounds like nothing right on the other side of the door being threatening or anything like that. It's a low hum that is very hard to pick up on.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of hum, like some machinery's in there working, or maybe they're making some beer. We can do some taste testing. I thought you said this place was abandoned.
It is.
I didn't see much activity the last time I was here, so don't think they'd be making beer.
You two ready back there?
Did I find
Yep.
anything in my search? I'm assuming nothing.
Go ahead and give me your your blind gem roll perception check as well. In this room, as you spend a few minutes going over it, at the first glance, there's not much in this room. This is where the Iron Hunters were camping before, and as you pick through the sort of little bits of crates and stuff, it looks like everything's been taken. Anything of value was taken by the Iron Hunters when they left, and you don't find anything, at least as you pass through this room. Nothing that even looks out of the ordinary. Yep, if you guys want, you are free to go ahead and open that door on your end.
Cha.
Let's go.
Yep. So the door opens up and you can see right across from you, there's like a hallway that's about 10 feet across, and it looks like there's a large double door, and right above the double doors there is a sort of sign that's been carved in like sheet metal, and it says cold storage. And as the double doors open, you can hear how that hum is definitely coming from even further in, kind of beyond that door in the cold storage. That was the hum you picked up on.
Yeah, see, you can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And from
Right
there, to your right, to the west side of the room, it opens up into like a large kind of central room. There's very smooth stone floors, definitely dust, and you see lots of footprints going through the dust this way and that across here. But the dust itself shows you this place is mostly pretty abandoned and not had a lot of activity passing through it. And as you step in, you realize that large chamber has a catwalk that is kind of goes up 5 feet and goes around the edge of the whole room. And that is because there are about 8 large 5 foot tall vats, to like brewing vats, embedded into the wall, and you see kind of behind them all kinds of pipes and complex machinery that connects them all. But it is definitely the sort of main brewery section of the warehouse. There are signs like on them, but from this far it's kind of hard to read them. You probably have to get a little closer to see what they're labeled.
Listen to this door. You hear that humming here? I wonder if there's something in there still working. Maybe it's keeping it cold. We should check in here.
Yeah, maybe. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Ready?
And there are also, now that you moved up, you can see back in that room, there are sort of more doors and like what look like almost small office doors off the main brewery, kind of on the north side of this building. You move down there. This door, just at a glance, is very obviously locked, although you guys do have the keys from the Iron Hunters after you blew their knees out and they handed them over. I don't know who has the keys.
I would imagine Saruk picked them up. Or
The power is vested in me by the guy standing next to me. I have the keys, and I'm gonna open the door.
I'll unlock that door. You can go ahead and open that door. So you guys open it, and then you see almost like a small 5 foot double door transition area where the inner door is definitely like a very like thick metal door, and just there's like a bit of frost kind of coating on the outside of it, and the humming is even louder now.
maybe there's some meat in there for you guys.
Maybe. As we step in, the humming is louder, it's very cold. Is this like a, oh no, this is cold, take a bunch of cold damage cold, we should be worried about it, something has malfunctioned? Or is it just kind of your standard issue, like this is the sound of a walk-in freezer?
It's basically, it's probably pretty rare in this part of Alkenstar, but it is definitely feels like not I'm taking cold damage. It's just you put your hand on the door and you can feel that the temperature is much lower in there. It's definitely like a freezer, air conditioner type unit or something that is keeping that room cold. But it doesn't feel like I'm going to take damage for stepping into it. It's not like sub-zero temperature or anything.
Gotcha. Well, with nothing to fear.
Let me take a look. Yeah.
What's in here?
All right. You push open the fridge door and it opens into the cold storage, and you see the entire room is sort of filled with a misty vapor that sort of clings to the air and just gives it sort of this eerie, late at night, cold, misty fog. A thin layer of ice coats the walls, and you even see like small icicles that have kind of clinged to the roof and are just hanging there. And against the back of the wall, you see large metal oil-sized drums just along the wall, and sort of crates, like old moldy freezer burned crates of food just lining back here. Not like food necessarily, but you see like onions and melons and maybe some grains of some sort. Different perishables that were meant to keep cold in this room. But the thing that catches your eye the most is right in the center of the room, there is this weird light blue orb that's encased in a couple of like metal bands in this like weird sort of circular pattern that hangs from the ceiling down right in the middle of the room. And you can just see sort of the mist kind of escaping from this thing and surrounding the room.
Huh. I wonder what that is.
Yeah, maybe Miss Mendoza knows what that mechanical hullabaloo might be.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, Anita, come here.
All right. I come in there.
Okay, yeah, you move up and you see hanging from the ceiling in that same, there's definitely like a pulsating blue light with about like 4 circular bands that are completely holding it in place, and the mist just seeping out into the room. If you would like, you can give me a crafting check, or if you have a lore check, an engineering lore check, that would also be applicable.
I unfortunately...
Yes, she does. I'm gonna do the thing.
Secretly? Or...
Yes, you can make this a secret one, and then Saruk is giving you a pursue a lead, which gives you a +1 circumstance bonus on your check.
Okay.
You can add that effect to your character, or just
Question mark.
Perfect. This is something that is not super uncommon, especially in Alkenstar, in the produce industries, in the elite circles of like inventing. This is a very standard issue cold storage orb. It's alchemical in nature. Basically, somebody would mix in a bunch of chemicals that slow react over time and would essentially last about 5 to 10 years. I think 10 years is what they say, but in your experience as a crafter, they usually have to be replaced every 5 years, or at least maintained with the new chemicals. And over time, it will just sort of react and put out this cold, and it allows you to keep rooms, like temperature control rooms, pretty pricey. You would imagine a unit of this size for this cold storage would probably run a few hundred gold to even be to fill a space this big. But it's nothing more than a way to keep things cold, like a refrigerator.
The room itself or the orb?
The orb itself has the chemicals inside that react slowly over time and put out the cold reaction. And that cold, instead of staying in the orb, is kind of pushed out, which heats up the center of the core and pushes the cold out into the room around it. So, over time, it'll run out of chemicals and it'll stop being cold. But for now, someone's put a lot of money into this storage, this magical alchemical item just to keep this room cold. The other thing, too, is as your mind is thinking about that, the core itself is made up of these alchemical things that are very useful to, alchemical engineering. And if you were to have a steady hand and a trained attempt, you might be able to extract some of those chemicals into equipment, vials, containers, and use them for your own purpose.
So a lot of things. One, This is very useful, not only for me, but for us. So if we have the time, I can actually try and go in there and siphon a little bit of all the goodies that inside this orb. But at the same time, I'm actually wondering, because if this brewery is abandoned and someone is putting in all the effort to make this cool, there's probably something in here that they're trying to keep cool.
Maybe. Or maybe they just left it behind.
Does anything in here look any newer or older than anything else?
Saruk is going to approach wherever the onions are, pick one up, and take a bite.
Yeah, you can move into the room and search around if you guys would like. You can move in there and give me you can all give me your secret perception checks to see what you find. Saruk goes in. So the onions themselves, as you reach in, you can feel that they're all like kind of have like, even here in the fridge, have gone bad and sort of fused with each other. And so as you reach in, you kind of pull up and like half the onions sort of come up with it, and you got to like break one off. If you still want to take a bite, you can, but they are very definitely like kind of growing new onions and like freezer burned.
My people evolved to stomach a lot of things, but I think I'll pass. I get the sense someone just left this here.
I think Saruk, you find that in the onions and the gross onions. Hal, most of the crates in the back are empty, and you kind of check where the big drums are, and as you open it, they all look like they hold water, or at least some kind of clear liquid. There's no scent or smell coming off it. Maybe they were just storing cold barrels of water for some reason in the brewing process. Anita, you do find a crate of molded or sort of like potatoes that have started growing more eyes, and like the roots have grown out the bottom of the thing and are looking for some source of water, and it's just absorbing the mist from the air as it makes a sort of potato farm in the corner. But as you guys go around the room and look for anything that might be dangerous or interesting, or something that, like you said, needs to stay cold for some reason or another, after like 10 minutes of searching, you come up short. Like, there doesn't appear to be anything valuable other than the actual device that keeps this place cold.
All right. More of the warehouses.
What a waste of good food. When we get done, I'm going to see what I can. If there's anything to be salvaged, or at least the water, maybe.
Yeah.
This fucking city.
Oh, I also do want to take a look at this orb later, just so that I could siphon out all the stuff.
Indeed.
All right.
We will return to contemplate the orb afterwards.
And
there's materials in the orb that we could use. What?
Is there any beer stored in there? Reffy hasn't gone in the room.
There's just some water and like rotten food. There ain't nothing in here worth anything. I mean, we can. I'm not really sure why it's locked up, but we'll keep it locked up after Annie comes out. After Anita comes out, we'll lock.
Maybe Tusk can throw another party then. Poison the other half of the building.
So Ruffy, as they were in there searching, because they're sort of spending 10 minutes poking around looking for stuff, and just sitting in there exploring it. You're kind of sitting outside, just kind of twirling your gun, your firearm, and you actually hear like a scuttling noise, almost like a slight shifting of metal when your house settles, but it's like metal, like hollow kind of noise, and a little scratching noise that almost sounds as if like a large varmint of some sort might be skittering around in the main warehouse.
Oh, hold up there, Tuss. You hear something? Sounds like rodents, but they might be of
egregious size.
Yeah, larger size than usual, you could say. But there's definitely something scurrying about out here.
And out comes the multi-pistol.
Let me go take a look. I wonder if they're lizards. You can really sneak up on them, and as they run off, you can just grab their tails real quick, and they're good. He's trying.
He's got lizards in his pockets.
Ruffy, why don't you give me a perception check as you're kind of looking out and explaining that too, because just see if you saw anything besides just hear it.
Do you want that public or blind?
You can make it blind.
I rolled question marks.
Okay. Yeah, you heard it, but you definitely didn't. It was hard for you to see anything, so you didn't catch any movement. All you got is your auditory clues.
All right.
Yep. So as you move in here, you can see again the south side of the room, 4 large beer vat mixing chambers. On the west wall, there's 4 more. They're sort of little walkways up to them, and this sort of catwalk system is built 5 feet up in the air, because this room is pretty tall, right, going up to the skylight above. And as the dim light sort of comes in through the dust-caked skylight above, you see what looks to be a giant room that was made for beer brewing. I don't know anything personally about beer brewing, and I tried to look up a little bit, and even then I still don't know like hardly anything. But on the west wall, as you're closer now, you do see there are labels on these 4 vats, and they are 2 of them are labeled mash, and the other 2 are labeled kettle. And then on the south side, the first 3 containers are labeled ferment, and then the last one is labeled still. And each one sort of has like a release valve coming off the front of it, as well as piping that kind of comes in the back and goes around the rest of them.
If we're concerned about rats, hang on a second. And Surik's going to run back into the freezer, grab a fistful of gross onions, and then roll them into the center of the room.
So you come out and you roll this like onion right into the center of the room. As it like sort of kind of leaves the cold and starts kind of coming up to room temperature, you can like smell that disgusting rotten onion smell starts to sort of break free and permeate. And it even sort of begins to liquefy a little bit with the rottenness as it comes to room temperature. But sure enough, you see climbing off of the top of this vat over here, there's a rat. Not even unusual size, just a normal rat that is hanging out on the top of this vat. And it sort of sniffs its little whiskers in the air and like looks at you cautiously as it climbs down the side of the vat and then scurries over towards like the onion thing and starts like smelling at it.
You don't think that's Gattlebee's rat? Gattlebee's Rattlebee?
No, I don't think so.
Rat on the vat. Good trick.
So where's this other Wybot supposed to be?
I don't know. They said it was somewhere in here. My presumption is...
Yeah, it was that, not quite right up there, dwarf, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The rat, by the way, begins like taking pieces of the onion and like eating at it.
Well, let's go check some of these other doors. I don't see nothing in here.
As you kind of step in, the rat sort of gets scared and scurries back towards like hiding under one of the vats.
This is the longest of long shots, but if they were... Oh god, something's moving around in here. I am trained in survival, because I'm trained in, well, almost all of the things. Might there be, perhaps, a crumb of tracks or evidence that something big and Wybert-esque came through here?
Interesting. Yeah, let's give me a... go ahead and give me a secret survival check. We'll see what you can make from the tracks and the dust.
Question marks.
Question mark. Nice.
Question mark.
There are a few dwarven-sized footprints and a few that are a little bigger, approximately human size, that lead from sort of where you are directly across towards this sort of these doors on the north side of the room. You don't see anything like almost towards the vats. They are almost completely clean. So it almost looks like nobody has sort of approached the vats other than there are a few tracks that lead towards the catwalks. The only sort of disturbance you see over there are tiny like rat footprints. But otherwise, there's no signs of anything big or menacing that has been through here at all.
Well, the dwarf went in the northern doors. There's obvious tracks going up the catwalks. I think whatever our erstwhile companions saw, it's somewhere up there.
Right on this this vat over here, by the way, there is, as you're kind of like looking, there's a very obvious like now like leaky drip, like as some like old beers like leaking out drip every few seconds, and you see the like sort of the rat is now like perched on it and just lapping from the end of the spigot.
Is that your leaky drip you're referring to there, Raffiul?
No, that's a leaky nip. quite a different establishment.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can take your turn up on the raised walkways.
Over near the vats.
Yeah, on the catwalk.
Yes.
Ah, I see
And the
now.
catwalk.
On
Those
the
vats
catwalk?
are made for brewing, but I don't think that's what they do now.
I'm going to go open a door, you nerds.
Yeah. So, Ruffy,
Raphael,
you move up on the
go up
catwalk?
the catwalk. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you move up the catwalk, and as it's pretty quiet in here, and as you step up, the foot on metal is a little loud as it kind of fills the silence and echoes, but it's built pretty sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's going to collapse or anything. And as you move up, you can find yourself towering over the top of these vats on the south end. This one has the big sort of spigot arm coming off the top. This is the one that's labeled still, and you can see like the tops of these. They have like removable lids and almost like even little trap doors, so it'd be easy to add ingredients to the vats as needed from up here in a very easy way.
This one's a still. I think they sold more than just beer here.
Maybe. I don't know.
Ruffy, there's 4 doors here. We could all take one each.
Sure.
I'm not the doorman. That's Tusk's. I'm the shooting man.
The shooter can give us cover from behind anyway.
I'm gonna open the door.
I'm gonna not open this door, but instead go over here, because another door is opening.
Yeah, you go to open that door, Anita, and the door, it jiggles and it's locked.
All right. I'm
I
gonna
will try the
take a
key.
look. Oh,
Like I
yeah,
said,
there you
Tusk
have
is
a
the
look.
doorman.
I've even got keys.
You can absolutely, you start getting your lockpick out, Anita, but yeah, Saruk does come over for the keys, and the key does fit in the door and like clicks it really easily. So I'll go ahead and unlock the door.
I just really want us to not out of character spend an hour and a half on a fucking door trying to fucking do it again.
Exactly. So you kind of slide open
Trauma.
the door. Immediately you look in here. This is a room. It looks like a small workspace and almost like a employee area with a dining table. There's a table with benches, but on the north wall there is a desk covered in bottles, beakers, flasks, chemical tools. Very obviously, it looks at a glance to be part of the brewing sort of things that somebody would use to brew or test small batches of experimental drinks or something like that. So it is brewing focused. But to your eye, Anita, like if all of this were to be collected into a thing and taken, it could function as a fully expanded alchemical lab, which is, it's a 6 bulk thing, but it is a full alchemical lab workshop. But even as Anita's eyes go wide in that, Saruk, you're sort of drawn to the northwest corner of the room. There is a large, oversized nest, like almost like a wasp nest, built into this room. And the sound of buzzing sort of like comes out, washes over you, and sort of fills the quiet that you're in. And you can see like dozens and dozens of these little wasps sort of flying around the room. Some of them are flying from this wasp nest down towards a pile of kegs where you can see they're kind of all collect over one of the kegs that is leaking a little bit, and they're all collecting that liquid and taking it back to their nest. And beyond the wasp nest, there is this boarded up window that kind of makes it dim in here. And there are some cracks in the boards, and the wasps are kind of flying out into Alkenstar from here. But this is definitely a wasp nest.
I don't suppose anyone brought a torch, anything flammable. There's a wasp nest in there.
What are they doing?
Existing?
I mean, I have Wyber. He can get in there and just explode.
Well, Wybert,
Didn't you just
after you, big guy.
build him again? Do you want to make him go boom?
No, this is actually a feature that I forgot that he had. All right, Wyber. Would I know where it is? You said northwest.
It's very, if you can see it's hard to see unless you move the token in there, but move right here just so you can see, and you'll see the northwest corner. So are you just sending Wybert in to like sort of like he's wearing the beekeeping suit and he just walks in the middle of him and explodes? I mean, you're not being sneaky about this at all, right? This is just you're gonna attack these things.
Honestly, I think when Wybert goes in, if Wybert has his orders and can do them without Anita having to babysit every single step, Saruk might shut the door behind him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wybert's functional, and Anita just has to give her actions to Wybert on his turn.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I
Okay.
can't click my robot. There you go.
Yeah, so you close the door, Wybert walks in, he starts walking towards these things. These things, as soon as there's like an intrusion and this loud robot steps in, they kind of like spill out and they sort of make this huge defensive swarm. I need you to roll initiative because we are now...
For Wybert?
Well, for you and for Wybert, yeah. Because it is an initiative thing. They are a combat creature and Wybert is gonna solo them.
Let's go, Wybert!
Everyone else can roll initiative, right? You can all roll initiative, but like mechanically what's happening is we put Wybert in and you close the door. You can just delay your turns until you want to do something in combat in case you need to jump in at any point to do something.
I feel like mechanically we've run into that second thing this party's really bad at. First it was oozes, now it's swarms.
Swarms, right?
No,
God damn it.
I totally forgot about the explode the last time we had a rat swarm.
If I'm still scouting, y'all get a +2.
That is very true. You get +2 to your initiative thanks to Hal's scouting.
So I should have a 25 then.
25, yeah, 25 for everyone. It's not going to make a difference between you because it looks like they got a 29, so it didn't break any ties or anything. So it shouldn't matter too much. You guys all got 25? Oh, Hal's already has the +2. I see.
I've got 10 paces, so it's the same circumstance bonus.
As Wybert steps into the room, before he can really make his way across the whole room, the wasps sort of come out, and you hear from the other side of the closed door the loud, intense buzzing of wasps, and you can just, from Wybert's perspective, through his little like robotic eyes looking around, it goes dark as the thing is swarming, and they are like throwing their like wasp bodies like helplessly against his metal sort of body as they try to sting, climbing into like any like sort of like opening or crevice and get into his machinery and just start stinging at him. One action to move. As they do this swarming stings, I need Wybert to make a reflex save against the wasp.
Let's go, Wybert! That would be a 22.
Okay.
Murderbot, activate.
22 is a success, so you take half this, so you take 4 piercing damage, half to 2 piercing damage.
Okay.
I don't think he has any resistance to that or anything, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
To piercing? No.
I'm pretty sure he's immune to like any sort of venom that the stings might have.
Mm-hmm, like poison.
Right. It is a poison, so he's immune to that. So with his third action, they do swarming stings again, and he needs to make another basic reflex save.
All right. Let's go, Wybert!
Or Wybert. R.I.P.
That's a 12.
12. It's a failure, but not a critical failure. So you'll take the full piercing damage. 11 piercing, and that is their turn. Hal, you are next. You can hear poor Wybert being like attacked by wasps on the other side.
Not the bees.
Delay it is. Saruk.
Yeah, better delay too.
All right, Ruffy.
I'll delay as well.
All right, Anita.
Wybert smash! He's gonna explode!
All right, how does the explode ability work?
So let me bring that up for you on the chat.
How many actions are you giving Wybert? Are you gonna give?
I'm gonna use 2 actions to give him 3.
Perfect. Okay, it's been a while since we had some Wybert action. How does explode work?
So for explode, you intentionally take your innovation beyond normal safety limits.
Here, I added to a sheet and then I can add it. Here we go.
Okay, so the explosion deals fire damage, but since I modified GM, I have a question. I modified Wybert's damage, to electricity.
Right.
Oh no, it's still electricity unless I
You can
spend a day.
choose if it's fire or electricity, I think, when you make the explode, no? Or is it just always do it? It's variable core, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it is a variable core. So for today, I'm gonna do fire.
Oh, it says, so on your turn, you can, anytime you explode, you can change the damage type from fire to the type you choose if you want. So you can make it fire or electricity.
Okay, so we'll go. Okay, I'm using 2 actions to give Wybert 3. And
Right.
then we're choosing fire damage for this one.
Okay. So fire damage. So it's gonna create a basic reflex save within 5-foot emanation. Everyone around Wybert, include like right here, like Saruk's like close the door, and there's like a as the flames come back across the door, like under the floor. It doesn't hurt you, but you can all see the explosion come from in the room. I'll roll a save for the Wasp. That is a 16.
succeed.
4 on the dice plus 12, 16. So they still take half damage. You can roll the damage from that.
So that would be 6 points, 5 points of fire damage.
All right, 5 points of like sort of area splat, like area damage. So you deal 5 points. The swarm is weak to the area damage because it hits so many of the wasps. So they have a weakness 5 to this damage. So they take 10 damage from your explosion.
Sweet. And then
Wybert, like the explosion goes out. Roll the unstable check, right? Roll the DC 17 unstable check.
okay. That's an 11.
Okay. So all that means is Wybert is now unstable. Like the sparks are going out. He no longer has access to any of his unstable actions, but he doesn't take any damage or anything. And that was 2 actions.
Yes, those 2 actions, and then
As the smoke clears and as Wybert comes back online, his eyes flicker in. He looks. The wasps are definitely like hurt, but there's still a lot of wasps coming after him.
okay. He's gonna try and smash him with his feet with a Wybert smash.
Wybert smash.
Wybert smash.
Wybert smash. Attack control. There you
This
go.
large saw blade comes through the wasp swarm.
That's an 18.
That is a hit.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
7 points of bludgeoning damage. You deal 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you start like punching at the wasp. The wasps themselves have a resistance 7 to bludgeoning and take no net damage. You're unable to get through their resistance with your punch.
I still hear them, so that one explosion didn't really kill them all. I say to the rest.
It's
of them.
after you hear the explosion, it just sounds like the buzzing got angrier.
Oh, they're angry.
You
lovely.
as Anita still have one more action too.
Okay, for my last action, I am going to just make sure that I have my repair tool in my hand. So I'm gonna interact to grab them.
Okay. Repair tools comes up. Perfect. So now everyone else delayed their turns.
Saruk will come out of delay.
Okay, so Saruk will come up next.
I will use 1 action to open the door.
Yep, one of
Oh my god!
it's like a large sword. It's taking up 4 squares of space on the battlefield as this angry wasp swarm. It's not like, it's not giant wasps, they're just normal sized wasps. There's just a lot of them.
And I'm gonna, for my next trick and my second action, there is an unholy amount of my body that wants to swing my tusks at the wasp swarm.
Let's do it.
Nope. I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay.
Oh god. Okie dokie. So second action.
Surk just comes back looking like a dog, that bit of bee.
It should be loaded, so if it's not loaded, just make sure you load it. Yeah. It says it's loaded.
It's loaded. And now I'm definitely for sure 1000% very much going to shoot. Turn off your intelligence, turn on your dexterity. Oh, wait, never mind. These aren't... JK, I'm gonna hit it with my mace.
Just smack it.
Because the mod is better. Yeah.
Okay. Swing it.
I would rather use my strength. Mary Chrysler.
A 12 is going to miss. You swing through the middle of the swarm and they just get out of the way.
And then for my third action, that happens.
Third action, close the door.
Open door, swing, miss wide, close the door again.
All right.
Not the bees.
So Ruffy and Hal, you guys both still have a turn if you'd like to take it.
I'll go then. I'll use my free interaction to draw my pistol.
Okay.
And I will, let's see, bit of a, trying to get into good, I was over there, 10-foot step.
Okay.
And hold an attack until I see wasps.
And Hal?
I was gonna move over. I'm gonna check in this door. I'm gonna open it.
2 doors. So you spend an interact action. You throw the door open. You see a privy. There's a nice toilet mounted on the far end of this sort of narrow room. A sink that's like covered in like dust and grime and what looks like freshly used soap, but otherwise a pretty crusty looking, recently used toilet.
Why is there always crap in these things?
It happens.
I thought this room was bigger and there were 2 doors, so my mistake. I'm gonna go ahead and close the door.
Luckily, there's no one sitting on the toilet awkwardly staring back at you. One of the iron
It's
hunters.
Aldo.
It's Aldo.
Also, what are you doing here? Now's not the time. There are bees.
It's Aldo.
There he is.
Freaking
Okay.
Aldo. Oh, where's
So-
Aldo?
So one action to
That's already-
open it. Are you gonna actually spend an action to close it too?
Yes.
Okay. And third action. Oh, you move towards the door too. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. So that brings us back to the top of the second round. So poor Wybert is getting stabbed. So that's
poor baby.
gonna be the first. He's gonna need to make oops, sorry, that's the wrong thing. 3 basic reflex saves against the swarming of the wasp.
3.
Yep, 3 is 1 action each, so you need to make 3. 23
1.
success. So you take half damage from the first one. So 5 piercing,
Okay.
and then make another one.
Oh, not Anita. Wybert takes 5 damage.
Right, Wyvern.
Okay. Another one.
21.
21.
All right, so you take half again. 4 points of piercing damage that time.
4,
They're getting all
5.
inside of poor Wyvern now and like mucking up his
Uh-huh.
gears. And one
Okay.
last one.
1 more. I'm gonna use a hero point for that 15 that I rolled.
Okay. Wybert is near death. Oh no, poor Wybert.
He's fine.
18 is a failure.
Oh, still okay.
Yeah, so you will take the full damage. 13 points on that one.
Okay. Wybert's not there anymore.
BDG Streams has given Anita a hero point. So you watch, you don't watch, you see like
thank
poor
you,
Wybert's
BDG.
eyes on the other end. Boom, the eyes like flutter and go like, and it's like Wybert's eyes just say like offline. He goes, and he like falls over and stops moving.
Okay.
That doesn't sound good.
I
Why
know.
did it have to be
It's all right.
wasps?
I'm ready. Can I delay my action because I need to be where Saruk is? So
Yeah,
until
you can-
after Saruk
Yep.
goes. Saruk, if you don't mind, I do need to be there to work on Wybert a little bit.
Sure.
All right, you delay your turn, Saruk.
I will interact to open the door.
Okay.
Get him, Reffy.
Oh, that's true. Refi was holding his action.
I will strike and shoot the wasps.
All right, make that strike. That's a 21, which is a hit. 2 points of concussive damage, which is not enough to get through the resistances that the wasp swarm has, and unfortunately, net 0 damage on the gun strike. But that was just your reaction. Yeah, yay. That brings us to the rest of Saruk's turn.
Oh, it does. I'm gonna. I hate everything. I'm gonna hit it with my tusks.
Fire tusks.
No, wait. What am I doing? I'm an investigator. Investigator do investigate things. I'm going to rather devise
Okay.
a strategy.
Second action, devise a stratagem. It's going to be a 10 on the dice. Or 10 total, sorry.
Twice that strategy.
I
2
think
on
I'm
the dice.
gonna just 5, 10, 15, straight out of the way.
All right. Perfect. Now, Anita, you want to take your turn?
Yes, please. Okay, so 1 action to step so that I'm adjacent to Wybert. The second action, haphazard repair from a buddy.
I'll put it in
How
chat.
do you do the thing? There you go. Thank you. So you quickly fix your innovation at the cost of its stability. So he's gonna come up unstable. Still.
Well, the problem is he's already
So
unstable, and you can't take unstable actions when you're unstable.
Me? But here's the thing, though. He took that unstable action, not me as Anita. Weber took the unstable
True.
action.
But he's unstable, so you can't haphazard repair him. Right? The unstable trait specifically says... Let me just look it up.
Yeah, it tracks the innovation, which in this case is Wybert. So
Okay.
Yeah.
unless Anita's got a cybernetic arm she's not telling anybody about.
Yeah, I'm just double checking, but I'm pretty sure that because they both have the unstable trait, it says if you take an unstable action, okay, yeah. When you take an unstable action, on a failure, the innovation malfunctions and it becomes incapable of being used for further unstable actions. So specifically, he's unable to be repaired because he went unstable.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
That makes
I am
things
unfortunate.
interesting. Well then, if that's the case, Wybert's there until the swarm is dealt with. So I'm going to... So I have 2 more actions, right?
Yeah, well, knowing that you can't haphazard repair because of the unstable thing, you can take back your step if you don't want to step, right? You can still have your full 3 actions.
No, I'll take a step there.
Okay.
So second action... Okay, second action, this is tricky. Second action, I'm just gonna grab like a bottled lightning, and then third action, I'm gonna chuck it at them. You killed my robot!
Okay.
Again!
Yep. So you have a shield up, right? You have a shield in your hand. Oh, it's a shield that you can use, right? A buckler. So you can use it to hold stuff. Perfect. So you have repaired holes in one hand. You go for the bottled lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. And you chuck
then
it.
I'm just gonna throw it at him.
Yeah, target that wasp swarm and hit it. Now Wybert is in the blast radius.
His core is electric. He should be fine. Roll 15?
I see. Yeah, you rolled a 15, which is going to be a miss. So
I would like to use a hero point for that.
Okay.
One.
Yeah. The splash will still go off even with the miss, but you can go ahead and use that hero point to re-roll it. That takes it to a natural 1 on the hero point, which takes the splash damage away, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. I'll change my dice.
This is where I, as a merciful GM, will allow you to keep the higher of the 2 rolls because it's not very heroic to fail with a natural 1. So we'll go ahead and apply the splash damage. So how much splash damage was it? It's just 1 electricity splash damage. So this thing takes 1 electricity damage, but it's also weak 5 to splash damage. So it takes 6 points of damage from your splash.
Oh, cool.
Wybert gets hit with some of the electricity. Yeah, you know what? He's got a lightning variable core. He absorbs the 1 splash damage and acts like a lightning rod. But I think that was all 3 actions for Anita. All right, that brings us to Ruffy's turn.
Pistol didn't do too much. Can't really get in there with Wybert in there.
You can pass through allies, guys. These allies don't block your movement, right?
But the swarm's right there.
Yes, that is true.
Let's see. If I went there, would I be able to hit it or no?
Let's see. Where did you go?
Right up into the door frame.
Like in Anita Square? But are you talking about like a melee strike? Oh, you're gonna...
I was gonna punch some bees, but...
yeah, if you... I mean, what's your movement speed?
25.
Yeah, I mean, you could even move in through Anita and then get into the room here, like around the corner, and you'd be able to not be in the bees and also punch them, I guess. Or, you know, from here, technically you can. You're just going through the door frame, so it'll have partial cover to your punches.
Don't know if I want to get in the room by myself with the giant swarm.
What? You mean Wybert doesn't count as an ally?
Not when he's already down.
Does Wybert provide flanking?
I would, I'll stride then here.
Sure.
And then I would strike.
Perfect.
Swarm.
Let's go ahead and make that strike. What does this look like? This is the first time we've seen you use like melee combat techniques, right?
So yeah, I'll twirl the pistol around so it's I'm actually holding like the butt of it. and then I'll rush in, kind of hands up, and then with a quick jab, try to go in between Anita and through Wybert's big bulky arms. And it's more of a quick kind of almost like Kenpo or Tai Chi strike with the fist just straight. Just
it.
Flow like water.
Show them moves, Rafi. Yeah.
Show me your moves.
26
Show
is a
those
hit,
moves.
not a crit. That's 3 points of bludgeoning damage. And as we saw earlier with Wybert trying to punch it, they have bludgeoning resistance that's above a 3, and they take 0 points of net damage. You managed to punch a few of them, right? You actually make contact with a couple of wasps, but the other 1,000 don't seem to notice.
Right. Can't punch it, can't shoot it. Anyone else got any ideas?
You could shut the door.
Is there a crane around here?
Well, hold on.
It's weak against anything that splashes.
And then I'll use my third action to, I guess, just reload my gun.
Okay. Yep, reload. That brings us to Hal.
How big is Wybert?
Medium size.
Will I be able to pull him out of that room?
If you move next to him and grab him and then pull, I just treat it like it's basically going to be a little hefty, but what's your let's see, what's your strength? What's your carrying capacity right now? You can carry up to 9, you only have 3 bulk. Yeah, you can easily get Wybert and drag him out of the room with your turn.
I will do that. Put
All right,
him, as far as I can.
Yep. It's like moving what's your movement speed?
25.
25, so you can probably pull him 5, 10. I'll let you get him to there, that's fine. So
Close the door.
dragging out like heavy Wybert, like dragging back. You have to like reach in to grab Wybert into the swarm and drag it out. You can feel like the wasp landing on you and like filling you out. I'm not gonna take an opportunity attack or anything, but you are like literally reaching into the swarm to rescue him. You pull Wybert back and then immediately like slam the door closed, and then you kind of hear the wasp sort of like the chaos crazy wasp swarm sort of like dissipates a little bit and eventually goes back to their normal thing. They don't chase you guys out of here. Once you close the door and leave them alone, they go back to leaving you guys alone. Unless you guys are going to press the issue, I think we're leaving initiative. You tell me.
I ain't gonna go in there.
I can't punch or shoot it, so I don't think I'll be of much use here.
I need to
That's it. I'm getting on Twitter.com and I'm yelling at Vanessa Hoskins for making a module that is just lethal to the thing you bring to Alkenstar.
Right? Here's a swarm. I think the Bryce says you've dealt a lot of damage to it. You've thinned out the swarm, but they're not like coming after you, right? They are content to stay in their hive and live their life the way they did. They defended their territory. You leave them, and all you're really losing is this awesome, like Anita, there's a full expanded alchemical kit just in there, just beyond your reach.
Oh, well, you know what we could do? What if we were to go grab the Orb of Contemplation, roll it in? If it gets cold enough, perhaps the wasps will just leave on their own. Reasonable?
That's
Looking
true.
at everybody else.
I mean, I could try and like take it off. However, I do need to repair Wybert. I need 10 minutes.
Yeah, Wybert is not dead like before. He's just
Mhm.
like needs to be repaired. So you get your repair kit out. You can spend 10 minutes repairing Wybert, and you can go ahead and roll that.
While that's happening, Saruk will work on getting the Orb of Refrigeration down from the wall.
Perfect. Yeah. The problem is it's not really a wall, right? It's got this really hefty metal frame that is kind of holding it suspended from the ceiling, and there's no way to get the orb out of the metal frame without somehow dismantling the entire cage around it.
Gotcha.
So we could do that, but like I was saying with Anita earlier, it's gonna take like finesse. Like we were talking about like extracting the chemicals, but if you're talking about just taking the full orb out, that is also a thing we can do. But we're just gonna have to make like a sort of roll for it. It's not just an automatic thing, but it's something we can do.
Like a thievery check or something.
It will be.
Alternatively,
Chain from the ceiling.
What happens if a guy who's wearing full plate holds on to it and then jumps? Can I pull it off from the roof?
You know what? I think we can answer that question when we get back from break, because we are going to take our break. I like it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can totally like try to like hang from it until it falls out of the ceiling, right?
I came in like a wrecking ball.
It is. I will say, just to be clear, I mean, you're an 18 strength investigator. It is a very volatile chemical item that can rupture and potentially have a lot of dangerous chemicals in it that Anita wants to extract to make weapons out of. I'm just putting that out there.
Wes, we need to extract them to extract the bees.
Yeah, it is possible, but with bad rolls, it's going to like break it. You know what I mean?
Me bad rolls never.
In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and take our 10-minute break. It is, let's see. While we're taking this break, make sure to support us here at Recon Knowledge. Also, Devil Drummer X, thank you for the sub. Thank you, Hallowed RPG, for donating that sub to our community. So, Devil Drummer X, welcome to the Recon Knowledge family. If you also want to support us, like Hallowed RPG just did, head on over to twitch.tv/Recon Knowledge. Give us subscriptions. We accept the Amazon Prime subs or any other subscriptions you may want to give. You can also support us at youtube.com/Recall Knowledge. Subscribe there. It's a good place to get our past shows, catch up, watch the prequels, all that good stuff. And make sure to check us out on Patreon. We'll give a shout out to our patrons at the end of the episode proper, but patreon.com/Recall Knowledge is the best way to support us and help us do these shows and our GM prep series like I did last Sunday. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add before we head to break? Fix your guys' internet in the meantime.
I hate swarms and I hate oozes specifically.
Yeah. I know Anita can do a little bit more now with like the alchemy stuff and with the explode, but you severely overestimated like the explode damage, right? Like it
Well, they passed and the damage was low, right? So it's
You're muted, Nina.
I have a plan.
A plan.
In
Well, that's
case,
what I like to hear from you.
like the orb is too difficult to take down. I'm just gonna give each and every one of us like a blight bomb, and then it's just gonna be a firing squad of chucking the blight bomb.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. I'm all for creative solutions in this. I will also just point out it's like a side thing. It's not actively hindering you. So but you guys saw, you're like, damn it, I want
just
that
me
treasure.
being vindictive.
Ration Gattlebee needs his wasp swarm back, dead or alive.
I'm gonna get my pet's beehive, guys.
That's his
Needs to put it with his deadly nightshade to keep all of the things he's conspiracy theorizing against out of his house.
Right?
Technically, I don't know about wasps, but bees in cold temperature just kind of go to sleep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you said when Wybert started to smoke in the flavor text, I was like, that's a flavor text faux pas. The wasps are gonna fly out because the smoke fucks with their ability to exist.
That's very true.
But if they're asleep, we can gather them all up into a jar, and then we have a jar of wasps we can throw at people.
Wasp bomb, yes!
Okay, I'm going to Google how wasps react to cold temperatures while we are at break, so don't go anywhere. It's 8:30 exactly. We'll be back at 8:40 with more Wasps of Alkenstar. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. Thanks for hanging out on the break. So when we last left off, we narrowly escaped robotic death by 1,000 wasp stings. And as we kind of come in, we see Anita kind of with the tools out, working, and this time Wybert did not get so demolished by like a rust creature that it was left and abandoned. You guys came together, rescued Wybert, allowing Anita to save it and begin doing the repairs necessary to bring it up to full health. And we rolled those crafting checks during the break so we don't like drag the game out. But there's no immediate lurking danger or a time sensitive thing. So Anita's going to spend the next like 10-20 minutes getting Wybert functional. And so you guys catch your breath and escape with your lives. What would you like to do next?
I was thinking, Refuel, did you see any, you remember that drink that Phoebe gave you the other day, lit it on fire? Do you think there's any of the flammable alcohol in any of them vats? Maybe we could douse one of them tents in the other room, or, some crates and that, and just kind of push it into the room, and maybe that smoke will drive them out.
Could take a look. Guy I used to know, part of the old crew, used to make his own moonshine. So I think our best bet is that vat labeled still. Don't want to go near the mash. If there's any mash left in there, it'd be pretty nasty. But the still might have some. I can go take a look, and I'll I'll walk up the catwalk,
Take your turn, buddy.
do a couple turns, walk back down the catwalk.
On the catwalk. Yeah. So you strut your stuff up on the catwalk. Yeah. So Ruffy, you're doing this. You're kind of going over, and just so I know where everyone is, Saruk, you are trying to sort of remove the cold device from the cold storage room.
Mm-hmm.
So we will get to that. Narratively, what's happening is in the other room. Actually, I think as you move up to the top of the catwalk, I'll cut over to Saruk. Saruk, you're in the room. You know, the room itself is maybe like 8 feet tall. This thing hangs down about a foot. You're tall enough you can just reach up and have access to it without even needing a ladder or anything. What is your plan for dislodging this thing?
So the wonders of taking a break is that means I get to get up and think about things instead of spur of the moment. I'm gonna grab it and fucking pull. Is it?
No, Miley. You're not gonna Miley Cyrus it.
No, because that will be bad. Is it anywhere up on the top where it's like screwed on or bolted on, or somewhere where like a crafting check could get it off the wall?
Yeah, so it definitely is. It looks like the kind of purpose of this like hardened cage is to keep it stable, right? The chemicals inside are unstable, and if they shift too much, that can be dangerous. So this kind of cage is welded pretty tight around it. So if you wanted to get access to the core, that's harder. But what you're talking about is just removing it from the ceiling, right? And so as you look...
So as if I have like a wand that has a cold orb on the end of it?
Not quite, but there is a sort of... it does look, for whatever reason, like you could attempt a crafting check to dislodge the whole core from the ceiling, kind of unconnect it and pull it down, and then you'd be able to sort of move it around and keep it in your hands, right? And just be the cold. To do that, though, you would need like something to stand on, but there's plenty of crates in this room and stuff like that.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Here goes nothing.
Yep. So let's make that crafting check. Ooh, look at that.
25.
Let me put the dice roll up here for the audience to see. That's a 16 on the dice for a total of 25. And in just a few minutes, you manage to tiptoe up to the top and sort of unseat this thing, and very gently, without dislodging it or like breaking the core or rupturing it, remove this device down and step, and you are holding it. It is like being in this close proximity to it is definitely cold. I would suggest using a cloth or something so you're not holding it with your direct bare hands, but otherwise you now have this core on your person, and it's just sort of emitting that like cold around you.
Nice. So I'll just wrap it up in... Oh, gosh.
There's probably some old
on my
moldy
person.
towels in here.
Mm-hmm.
So you can wrap
Good
it in
enough.
that. Yeah, it's good enough. Take one of those, wrap up the sort of cold core, and you can kind of come back out. And as you come back out, you see Anita is sort of getting the finishing touches of Wybert. And over on the catwalk, Refi, you said you were going to check the still one?
Right, I see Tusk coming out with that ball. I just look over. Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
Why are you like this? Never mind.
So this one on
Bloody
the far...
hell, Ruffy!
Nice. This one on the far right is the one labeled still. So that would be the one you were going to check first, right? The first one, I mean, you go to the catwalk, it's the first one. There is that sort of hatch, like I said, that you could access.
Mm-hmm.
And so you like kind of open it and take a look inside. It looks like it's emptied out. There's like maybe a bit of like musty smell and old. It hasn't been properly cleaned since the last time it was used, but there's no active anything brewing in this, and it is empty.
Smells like some of the bars in my 20s.
Aren't you like 19?
That was Richard saying that, not Riff.
So that one at least seems empty.
Doesn't look like there's any hooch in here. How?
Oh, well, it looks like Saruk got that cold ball from the other room. You just roll it in there, wait for a little while, and maybe they just all leave or go to sleep or croak.
Cool.
And as
it's really cold.
Yeah, as you're doing that back and forth across the thing, as Refi's standing here at the top of the catwalk having this conversation across, checking this bat, you notice like there's like this kind of like little banging noise. And now that you're here, Refi, you notice that the vat next to the one you're standing at had like a banging noise, like a hollow metal, the same noise you heard before. but it almost sounds like it's coming from like inside the barrel, inside the sort of kettle, I guess it's called. What is it called? There's a name for these things. Vats.
A vat.
Yes, inside the vat. It does sound like there's like a noise that's there.
It's the rat in the vat.
I think one of those rodents could get trapped in one of these things.
Maybe.
I mean, if they were fat, they couldn't get out of the vat.
We're just writing a children's book today. Yeah, so you move over, right? It looks like you move over to it.
Yeah, I'll take my pistol and just give it a tap.
Yeah, so you sort of like tap on it, and there is like a kind of a hollow banging noise, but the sound of this bang is one that lets you know that this one is full of liquid. It is not empty like the last one. There is a pretty hollow, like not so hollow sound, like a deeper sort of liquidy sound inside this vat as you bang, bang, bang on it.
Can't see the label, Hal. Which one's this one called? Right below me.
What is this?
It says fermenting.
It's fermenting. So it probably doesn't smell too good.
There's a bit of more movement that happens, Refi, and then as you're looking down on it, you notice like the whole lid sort of pops up and shifts over a little bit, and you can see the sloshing liquid underneath it as it sort of slides upwards out of the vat and looks like it's coming right at you.
Not another goddamn ooze. No.
Yes. We're gonna throw another ooze because I know you guys love oozes, right?
Wait, a beer ooze.
Oh,
booze.
boy.
Technically, you're not far off. This is a yeast ooze.
A
A
yeast.
yeast ooze.
I'm
Cool.
gonna call it booze.
It's a Vanessa Hoskins special. The yeast ooze that is coming up at Reficule, up at the out of the vats at you. So everyone, if you would please, and we'll say in this moment, like literally the moment that you like get Wybert turned on and repaired is the moment that this happens. So Wybert is back in action.
Would you
Just
say
wanted
I
to
was
find Vash and Gattlebee's drugs and take him to his house so he'd stop being so
Scouting?
weird. God,
Yeah, you were definitely
the
scouting.
vat?
You were scouting. Take your scouting bonus. Oh man, Saruk's just gonna throw the whole core right in this thing, isn't he?
Annie, you don't have any ooze seal
19.
bombs in there, do you?
I got
Get rid of
light
that yeast.
bombs.
Oh, natural 20 for the ooze on the initiative. Better than rolling on the attack.
That's true. I still have one more lightning. Bond lightning.
Oh god. Of course I rolled terrible.
So your bonus is not going to make a difference on these initiative rolls as far as tiebreakers go, Hal. So up first, the yeast ooze. So
The use.
with one action, it has to. It can't. It has to kind of come up out of the vat. So it moves up and like sort of sloughs itself and crawls up and reforms like on the sort of catwalk graded thing, and beneath it you guys can watch as like the ooze sort of like drips and just kind of falls towards the ground, but it kind of forms up as this large thing that towers over the top of Reficule here on the catwalk.
so big.
Yeah, on the catwalk. And
take your turn?
right, and targets Refi and does a like a melee attack. It looks like this weird sort of like bits of like slurpy yeasty ooze reach out and like grab Refi by like the arm and the body. 25 I'm pretty sure is a hit.
That would be a hit.
You're gonna take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and as the thing like hits you, I need you to make a fortitude save against the yeasty disease that it carries.
Alright.
Oh boy.
That's a natural 20.
That is a natural
Woohoo!
20.
Crits in the
Very nice.
chat.
Chris in chat for Refi. And then with its third and final action, it doesn't have a lot, so it does a map attack. That's a 6. It's a critical miss. Completely gets you like pull back. You freed yourself from it. However, like back as you're doing this, the rest of you, your eyes turn to like the last vat with all this movement and the banging. The last lid pops off too, and you watch as like another yeast ooze sort of slurps out with one action onto the floor, and then with the second action slurps over towards the closest thing it can see, which is Hal, and it makes its own attack against Hal.
How the fuck did the Iron Band survive this catastrophic
right?
roll?
How
It is
did
true.
Kasali survive this?
23, which I
That'd be-
believe hits. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that is 9 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need you to make the same fortitude save that Refi made.
I'm gonna use a hero point.
Let's use a hero point. And by the way, if
Mhm.
you have hero points, if you're in our audience and you've earned heroic coins, and you would like to donate them to the cast, now is a decent time.
Please.
Oh boy!
Please do.
More than a natural
Nice,
20.
let's
You
go.
are also now completely unaffected by it. That is all of the ooze's turn. Anita.
Okay. Are we gonna find?
Yeah.
Are we running away?
I fucking wanna.
I wanna hit it. I wanna redeem ourselves and try.
So what is Anita doing on her turn?
2 actions, giving Wybert 3, just so
Okay.
that to help create space for my mates.
Okay.
So Wybert's gonna move right here. Okay, Wybert.
Wybert
Hello.
move. Wybert smash.
First action, Wybert smash.
Okay. Well, first action move,
Please,
second action
please.
smash.
Oh,
right?
sorry, second action smash.
Go ahead and
Oh,
make
could
that.
I like interweave like an action from mine because I still have one action?
Yeah, I think so. There's I don't think there's a set order you have to take them in.
Okay, cool. Because I want to take one more action to overdrive.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay, so let me put that on chat.
It should be a standard level check, I believe.
Chat. There you go. Yeah. So crafting standard DC. That would be Mary Chrysler a 17.
17
so
is a
it's
success. So you get the success. So you add half of your intelligence modifier to your damage. I do need to edit Wybert. We need to make a special effect for Wybert because we haven't used this yet. Because
I dragged
won't,
it to him though. Oh, it won't.
yeah, but it's gonna base off his intelligence, which is not what we want, right?
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll just add it. We need to make a special one for Wybert that's like
Okay.
hard coded, but for now it's fine.
Okay, so it'll be
What's
like
your int
plus
mod? Your
2.
int mod's 4, right?
4. Yeah. So
I'm just gonna hard
4.
code the int mod to 4 for now.
So Wybert smash. Mary Chrysler. That's a natural 1.
Natural one's
For
not gonna
my
hit.
first hit.
Hello,
I
Christ, I
don't-
was
Meller.
displeased.
Meller Bode
Oh,
in chat.
can I use
Hello?
a hero point for that one?
Yeah, if
Oh,
you got
I
a hero
don't have
point,
a
use it.
hero point anymore.
I think you used both of them.
2.
Oh,
I used
Richard
to-
is
Got a
giving you
hero
another
point.
hero point. A third hero point.
Oh, thank you. RK Richard RPG.
Oh,
What a nice guy.
RK Richard RPG.
What a kind man.
Damn, Wybert's not rolling well today.
Yeah, unfortunately,
It's
that's
a
still
10.
a miss.
Okay, second action for Wybert. Oh, he's gonna take a map attack. Another Wybert smash. Flew. Okay, that's a 20 to hit.
That 20 will be a hit.
Perfect. So this person ooze will take 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Actually, more. The overdrive didn't work. So it's
Oh, plus 2, so 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
13 points of bludgeoning damage to this yeast ooze. So it's this weird sort of like sludgy, old, fermented yeast that has turned into an ooze, right? You punch
Mhm.
into it and you watch as it sort of like ripples out. And as you punch and it ripples out, it like explodes out in this huge almost crater. It is actually weak to bludgeoning damage.
Whoa!
So it's going
Not me thinking it was about to split.
right? No, it's weak, so it takes an extra 5 bludgeoning damage. So in
How
total,
many?
that was 18 damage that Wyvern did.
Oh, nice! That's the end of our turn.
Like what? Things can be weak to our attacks? Yes, they can.
Thank you, Vanessa
Thank you,
Hoskins.
Vanessa.
An ooze that we can beat?
So what are the odds of me opening this door and then chain encountering the wasp swarm? And 0, right? For one action, I interact and open the door.
Okay, you open the door. The wasps are, like, they're not active. They're just kind of doing their wasp thing. Most of them are back in the nest. Some of them are flying around.
And then for second action, very, very carefully, with like the cloth, unwrap it such that it's sitting like flat on top of it.
Uh-huh.
I interact to set the orb of infinite fuck you wasp swarm
Okay.
right there.
Right in the door.
And then I'm gonna shut the door.
Perfect.
Mission accomplished. I pass turn.
Yeah.
Tusk, you forgot to say chill out.
Oh, right. Hold on. It's time for the deep freeze.
Bloody hell, how am I to die again from a news?
It's how we're coping.
Perfect. So yeah, that's happening on the other side. The camera pans back on top of the catwalk. Refi, this yeasty ooze is trying to get at you.
Right. Refi remembers the ooze from before, trying to shoot at it, and doesn't take out his pistol, doesn't take his 10 steps away, just brings up his fists with with his wraps, and just is gonna punch.
Those nice
Punch
wraps that
the
were
ooze.
stuck at the bottom of that oily river are now on your fists, and they're giving this ooze hell. Let's see what you've learned in your training this week.
Mary Chrysler.
Come on, Chrysler.
I'm
God
gonna
damn it,
use a hero
Chrysler.
point.
Let's use a hero point on that too,
Yes.
please. Thank you. You hear? There's like a flashback where Urshap is like hitting you in the back of the head, like, no, that's not the right way. So you dig in deep. Doc Nina is giving you another hero point in chat. 14.
This is the
Oh,
14.
14. 14's a hit, by the way. It is a giant ooze. It's not very hard to hit it. So that is a hit.
All right, I'll take it.
Just a lot of HP.
For 2 points of damage, and
Okay.
I'm going to change that dice.
The same as Wybert, though. This thing is weak to bludgeoning. So as you punch into it, your force of the blow sort of like ripples and explodes a bunch of yeast out the side that goes across the vat. For sure, you are able, like, it's weak to bludgeoning, so that's good.
All right, that's something at least.
Oh, we got a redemption from Melorbode, which is saying that we all need to just relax and stretch. Stretch.
There's no relaxing in
I
Outlaws of
know.
Alkenstar.
Begin to stretch.
Only in bad meta.
Perfect. So you still have 2 more actions, I believe.
2 actions, that's right. Why not? I'm going to map attack it.
For sure, map attack.
Map it.
New
Woo!
dice. 19's a hit.
It's a 19.
Hit, not a crit.
There we go. 7 damage.
7
Max
plus,
damage.
plus 5 more, so that's 12 points of bludgeoning damage as you
Let's
just beat into
go.
the ooze some more.
So yeah, you just see Refi raise his fists and do a quick jab across. And then for my third action, I am going to stride
Okay.
out of there.
Yep.
And as chat can see, in fact, there was a turn here on the catwalk. A
On
little
the-
turn here on the catwalk.
Do a little turn on that catwalk. You sexy thing.
And that's my turn.
He sachets.
That is.
away.
All right, Halbrant.
All right, Al is going to use one action to draw his Kopesh.
Okay.
Ooh, what's it called?
Then he is going to use one action to snagging strike this creature.
Can you describe what it looks like to snagging strike a yeast ooze?
Yeah, he tries to grab the fermented beer and yeast and like pull it towards him, so see if he could like smell it or lick it as he
Huh.
grabs onto the beast and swings with his Kopesh.
Oh boy, 29. That's a critical
Ooh.
hit. It's actually close to being a double critical hit.
Oh, damn.
That's not a thing, but it is. Well, the damage roll wasn't great though. So this is slashing damage. So you deal 10 points of slashing damage, and as you do, you realize now it doesn't cut as easy. It's resistant 5 to the slashing, and it takes 5 points of damage.
Awesome. And then I will use my third action to go into a defensive stance using dueling parry.
Awesome.
Nice.
Go ahead and drag that parry effect to your token so you get your AC bonus. Because you did snagging strike, it's also flat-footed for other people, right?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Yep, it's... I don't know how but you have knocked this giant yeast ooze off balance with your snag. You're like, got your arms around it or something. Pretty cool.
A bunch of it is stuck to the Kopesh, and it's like taffy on the bottom of one shoe.
Right.
Just
Hal's
pulling
trying to
it,
drink it,
stretching
and it's actually afraid of him, so it keeps like looking back.
All right.
Oh no!
Let's see. So this thing, first it moves it like 20 feet to move forward 20 feet. Yep. And then second action, it strikes at Ruffy with that pseudopod yeasty attack. 26.
That's a hit, not a crit.
Hit, not a crit. That's gonna be 10 points of bludgeoning damage. And if you could make a fortitude saving throw, please. As is gonna do a
That's a 23.
perfect success. You shrug off the effects, and then it's gonna make its map attack.
That's a miss.
14's a miss. All right, Hal, you snag this thing. It's not smart enough to know to move. It just targets you and does a pseudopod attack with its first strike. Natural 1. Not gonna hit. Do you trigger anything on a critical miss? Because that's the second critical miss in a row, with a total of 7. And then with its third and final -1 attack penalty, 3 critical misses in a row.
Damn.
You like hold this thing off balance, and it's not able to get a solid strike off. And that is all 3 of the yeast uses turn. Anita.
First action to try and see if I can get a critical success on my overdrive.
Okay, so you're gonna spend an action to try to upgrade your overdrive. Okay.
Yeah, so that would be, apologies, the crafting. Mary Chrysler. Fail.
13. It's not enough to upgrade it to a critical success, at least.
Okay. All right. So 2 actions again to give Wybert 3.
Okay.
He's flat-footed, correct?
He is, yeah.
So Wybert smash. Wybert smash.
Get a Wybert smash. Another 2
It's a
Wybert.
9.
9 total is just missing.
Come on, Wybert. He's flat-footed already. A 12.
A 12 will hit.
All right.
Thanks to the flat-footed penalty.
That's 5. Oh, sorry, 8 points of
8
bludgeoning
plus your
damage.
2 overdrive is 10.
Oh yeah, 10 points of bludgeoning.
So, and then it takes because it takes extra because of the bludgeoning and the bonus. So 15 points total from Wybert Smash.
Okay, and then I'm going to actually just one action to give Wybert 2, and then I'll use my third action to get in the middle right here. So just stride in case people need some healing.
Okay.
That's it for my turn.
Go ahead and stride over there. Perfect. That brings us to Saruk, who has given the wasps an offering and spin around.
Yes.
And you see the oozes sort of like Hal's got one ooze like by the hand, and Ruffy Cool's like punching one. It's a chaotic scene.
The ooze has hands. I'm concerned.
Oh,
Okay, so-
CJ gives the GM a hero point. CJ really does not like you guys. Every time he shows up
damn
and
you,
gives me a
CJ.
hero point. Thank you, CJ.
What happens when I reject it? It goes away.
All right.
You were the chosen
CJ.
one, CJ. You're supposed to bring balance to our campaign, not destroy
Not
it.
destroy it. So we're gonna stride there.
Okay.
Interact to draw my multi-pistol in his ranged mode. And how high off the ground
It's
is...
just 5 feet up. It's not that high of a catwalk.
Gotcha.
Or a
Oh,
catwalk.
that's
Ruffy's doing a little turn on.
that catwalk. Oh, he is. I
We need to
think
get that
we're
song queued
gonna...
up for the end, the play out, Rick. Although we'll get copyright.
DM,
probably.
yeah, DMCA.
Oh, it'll be fine. What's a little
Find a.
copyright infringement? Oh my god, load your gun, Saruk. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a shot at the one that is chasing Reffy. And I'm definitely gonna read all of the things and make sure all the things are going. Brow!
All right. That's the one up by Ruffy.
Oh.
Right? Oh boy, that's a natural 20.
That's a natural 20.
Even
Let's do
with
those
So
three.
did we ever come to consensus on whether or not the fatal dice gets seen? I'm just gonna press this button.
this creature specifically Unlike the ones before, they are immune to critical hits. So you just roll normal damage.
Gotcha. And then with the concussive trait,
It is a concussive trait.
Bludgeoning.
Will be bludgeoning, which is really good right here.
Nice.
So then it should shake out to, I think, just 7, but then other things.
Let's see. Yeah, so it was a 7 on the dice. Well, because no, you gotta roll at regular damage because it wouldn't even get the D8. It would just be a D4, right?
Right. So it would just be the
Just roll it.
yeah.
Just roll regular damage roll.
Yeah,
on the
you're right.
card.
I got really excited and was like, "Ooh, I got a lot of damage." It's 3 actually.
3. And then that is it's bludgeoning 5, so that takes 8 damage. That's good.
Yeah. And that is my turn.
Not bad, not bad. Perfect. All right, Ruffy.
All right. That hurt a bit, so I'm going to get the hell out of dodge. And then second action, I'm going to... Oof, I don't like how close it is to me. But, how injured is it? Not too much.
It's injured.
I'm going to... Second action, draw my pistol. Third action, shoot it.
All right. Blast away. Uh, 15 is enough to be a hit.
Yep, I'll keep it, because it doesn't matter if I get a crit anyway, so...
Sure.
That's 7 damage.
7, and with the concussive trait, it deals 5 more, so that's a total of 12. So the ooze takes 12 points of damage as you leave a crater, blow out the side of it. It's got this large divot taken out of the side of it that's slowly reforms.
And that is the end of my turn. All 3 actions.
All right, perfect. Hal.
Seeing as how my sword didn't quite work, it is no longer flat-footed at the start of my turn, and I'm going to go ahead and punch him with my hand.
All right.
Do it.
As
Unarmed.
opposed with your teeth.
That is correct. My forehead.
God damn it.
I got my
Unarmed strike that ooze. It seems to be doing the
I
job
will.
around you.
snagging strike it with
Yeah.
my punch.
Let's see it. 18 will be a hit. Oh, that's some strength you got there. So it takes 5 extra for bludgeoning, so that's 11 points of damage total.
It is now flat-footed.
It is flat-footed again as you snagging strike it.
I will make a map attack.
Yep. 14 is a hit.
Nice.
for
Nice.
8 more plus 5, 13.
13
Nice.
points. You grab it and you just have it in a headlock and you're punching the shit out of its face until it dissipates and just falls into a just large puddle of yeasty ooze as the life, whatever little life it had, goes out of it. It is now dead.
I'm going to move for my last action. I'll go 10, 15. I'll get right here. And that is my turn.
Top of the round, the one remaining ooze. It doesn't so much move as it sloughs down, and it uses one action to and as it gets here, half of it spills over the edge of the stairs and almost reaches all the way to the ground as it continues to just do this awkward tumble thing right at you. One stride to get there. The second stride to get within range of you two. And then the third action, it's just gonna stick with its buddy Reficule. Oh, that's a natural 1 on the dice, but luckily
That's a
CJ
miss.
chat gave me a hero point. So I'm cashing in that hero
This is
point
CJ.
right now. CJ, if this kills Reficule, the blood is on your hands.
Does
Oh my
Hal get
God.
I saw it. It was gonna be a natural 20, and then it hit the side of the screen
Yeah.
and landed on the 2.
Oof.
Still
All
a
right,
miss.
you're safe for now, CJ. You're
It
safe
was
for now.
All right, Anita.
All right. First action, I'm pulling out my healer's tool. Second action, battle medicine on Refi.
I'm trying to think. What did you have in your hands before? You had nothing, right? You had the repair kit. We
just
put that
my
away.
shield.
Yeah, you're good.
Mhm. Okay. Oh, that's Wybert. Why is it Wybert?
Wybert makes a skill check.
Alright. For Refi, Mary Chrysler. 21.
All right, battle miss, and that's going to be a success, right?
2d8, right?
I think so.
2d8. Refi, that
What is
is
battle?
4 points for you. Sorry, it's low.
Yeah, we'll
One
take it.
action. One action to give Wybert 2. So for his first action, oh my gosh, oh. He's gonna move here. Is he on the
Okay.
stairs? What is this?
He's half on the stairs. Yeah, he's coming down the staircase, but he's spilling over the edge. He's flat-footed from here for sure.
Okay, so oh, I can't use that for flat-footed. Wybert smash. Bloop.
Oh.
Well, it's
10.
Still a hit.
It's a 10. It is a hit.
Why does it say hit?
It's a hit
Oh,
thanks to the flat-footed
flat-footed.
condition. Yep.
Sweet. That's 5 plus 2, 7. That's another 5, 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
The overdrive is giving 0.
Right, that's where we're adding it manually. So the 12 total bludgeoning damage on that strike.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta
that's
make a
a
custom overdrive for Wybert. Wybert overdrive.
2.
That'll hard code the bonus.
Yeah.
There's no way for the familiar or the companion to reference the owner's stats right now. So Wybert's intelligence is 0, so he's getting 0 bonus from overdrive. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's
If
not
he only had a
particularly
brain.
smart. Yeah, that's all. That's the end of my turn.
If he only had a brain, he'd be upset about the amount of abuse we've put him through.
Saru.
Mother, why have you forced me to go into a room full of wasps?
Mother,
and a
let
room
me
full
out.
of rust oozes? Why do you do this to me? Your son needs therapy, Anita. We fucked up. I fall from grace. I'm no longer a paladin. I also tried to interact and switch my mace to its melee mode.
Yep.
And I'm gonna just fucking
Blood.
bonk.
Yeah, bonk it.
I'm gonna bludgeon that shit. I'm gonna bludgeon that shit with this heckin' mace.
That's a natural
Boom.
20.
Crit,
It's
let's-
Man,
You're
why?
so good at
Crits, yeah.
Pathfinder.
I'm rolling the critical dice for vanity's sake, and then I'll roll the actual dice. So it should have been 8 damage, Wowie, but it was actually 4 damage.
Oh.
Whack.
You come in, you whack it, and then the entire thing explodes, and like Hal and Refi and Saruk and Wybert just get coated in this like gush of like yeast as it like dies. And
we killed something.
we are out of initiative, guys, and you've done it.
What's the recall knowledge check for this thing?
That would be. Do you want to take a guess? It's actually occultism.
Yeah, which I'm not bad at. You want a secret?
Yes.
What are you trying to suss out?
Thanks, non-GM. Mostly, I want to know if like this is a yeast. This is a bread ooze, right? Is this food? Here's the dice roll. I'm not looking. I really hope I didn't roll a 1.
Okay.
Yes.
It's if it were to be cooked, you're pretty sure it would be edible without as long as you cook it to cook out all the poisonous yeasty disease it might carry. Because just looking at it, you know that yeast oozes they do carry a disease in them, but you're pretty sure with enough fire you could totally cook out any potential deadly disease. Actually, no, I'll say this because you rolled high enough. It's not fire that will cure the disease. It's actually cold. If you expose these things to cold, they are very weak to cold. If they are exposed to cold, you could then get rid of that disease on the inside. Fire might work too, but you know for sure cold will remove the disease.
Nice. And out of character, beer bread is fucking delicious. So like, well, that came up much better than I thought it would. Holy shit.
There's a couple
I would
of
say dinner is on me tonight.
Yeah, there's a couple large piles of this ooze. Half of it is still on the catwalk. But it is able to if you really got like some kind of container, you could scoop up this yeast. But also just know it's been sitting here for probably, a year plus, completely abandoned.
I'm making beer bread tomorrow.
I'm jealous.
But we've done it, guys. We fought it. These oozes were not as scary as the rust ooze. They were not metal resistant,
Or the
right?
wasps.
Or the wasps, yeah. Now we got to combine the two, a waspy yeast ooze.
I believe they call those rust monster swarms.
Let's do it.
We're also
Lord.
not level 1, so that helps.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm proud of you guys for doing it.
Gee, thanks, Dad.
We did.
Um,
We did a thing.
I guess there wasn't any good alcohol in there, fuel. We just got some other stuff. You want to
Technically
take a few
speaking-
minutes and just catch our breath?
There's one vat that hasn't been checked on this side of the room.
Refi goes and sits in the corner. Toss, you're doing pretty well with that mace. Maybe you should check out that vat.
Yeah, sure. I'll do my little turn on the catwalk.
Yeah, this is the vat that the rat was drinking from with the leaky faucet. So it's like the third one over. And as you sort of like approach it and peek inside, there's no yeast ooze in this one. It is full of what smells like a very sour beer. It's like it's definitely beer, but it's been left for so long and neglected, it's spoiled. And it probably is
yes.
not.
The rat was drinking from that vat.
What was that, Rick?
What is it? What's it smell like? Is it kind of sour?
Bad.
Kinda
It
taste
smells
bad?
like stale beer, I presume. Ask the rat.
You could probably sell that. Call it an IPA.
I did see a lot of hops in that freezer. So many hops.
Suddenly we've become venture capitalists and we're no longer adventurers, wowie.
This adventure took a
Well,
turn.
I guess...
Yeah, so
Yeah.
these...
While I'm up here, I want to just ping all the rest of these.
Right, yeah. So yeah, you kind of go around and look. The one on the sort of the west wall, the two on the top are like the mash containers. They are, I guess, actually the entire 4 on this side are empty. One by one, you clear the kettle and the mash things. Not cleaned perfect, but they at least were cleaned, unlike some of the other ones, and they are just sitting empty. And as you peek inside, you can see down to the bottom with your dark vision. Pretty much just empty. There's like a few rat corpses in like one of them. Like the rats had fallen in and couldn't get out.
What a miserable existence. And, well, they're clear. I figure we give our wasps time to get nice and cold and cozy.
Right. As you sort of come down this catwalk right here and say that, it's clear. The wall that you're coming down, just on the other side of it, you hear like the sound of glass breaking. That kind of catches your ear and stops you. And as you sort of like maybe lean in and listen to the ear, there is definite like movement and talk going on in that room. It's muffled. There's a muffled voice, but there's definitely something talking in that room. That sort of like, but it's hard to make out what is being said. But
I think the parents from Charlie Brown are in there.
But definitely the sound of a glass breaking, like glass shattered.
So I'll get there, hold up a hand for quiet, and then just like, can I lean into the wall and listen, see if I can't pick up anything else?
Sure, yeah. Give me a perception check. And those of you watching Saruk from across the room, this door, there is a label over the door, and it just says a tasting room. All right, 15. I think with the 15, you hear the sound of like a greeting, essentially like welcome to the Yeast of All Brewery.
Does it sound like they're talking to me?
It sounds like they're talking to someone. Maybe not you, maybe you, but it's hard to suss who they're talking to, just that you picked up. And if they were talking to you, it's so quiet that they're probably not doing a very good job. So I'll say that you probably don't think they're talking to you.
So I'm gonna like motion quickly at everyone, then point at the door without saying anything. Well, I'm gonna make a lot of noise. I'm wearing full plate, walking down a catwalk.
I will say
Contact, come
a
on.
lot of the party does look pretty banged up. So do we want to...
I need like 10 minutes before you rush in there.
I
We
mean,
can
I
say-
gave you all potions if you want to use them
Also,
now.
Saruk spent time going around and checking each vat. That would be a, if you guys want to spend that chunk of time to do your medicine check to heal yourself or whatever, that's fine. You can all have access to one if you're trained and have tools.
Yes, I'll do one for Refi, another one.
Okay. Do you have tools,
Oh,
Hal?
no. Yes. Oh.
No, Al is looking expectantly at Anita like, where's mine?
One at a time. Hang
Right.
on a second. Oh, Hal. Hang on. I could do you one better, Hal. Yeah. Let me give
So
you...
as they're doing that too, so
an
this
elixir.
door on the left here is the one where you heard the sound coming from. This is the one that's labeled tasting room. This door right here is another door which is unlabeled.
Suspicious. Was the bathroom labeled?
The bathroom was not labeled. Neither was any of these doors. The only ones that's been labeled so far is the cold storage and the tasting room.
Am I supposed to eat this or drink this? What
Are you
this?
supposed to drink it, Hal?
All right. To like wear out?
All right, that's the success on your medicine
No,
check.
it shouldn't wear out. Hang on a second.
2 healing, Hal.
Just 2. Hang on. One more. Refi is gonna get...
You tell we were beaten, battered, and bruised at level 1 by the amount of elixirs of life that have just
Nice.
rapidly shown up.
Right.
And then
Yes,
the
a 5
next
healing
one
for
for
Refi.
Hal would be a 10.
A
I'm
10 is going to
gonna
be an
use-
unsuccessful
Hang
check.
on. Do I have a hero point?
You burned through 3 already. I don't think so, but maybe.
Oh, never mind. Sorry,
I don't-
Hal.
Yeah.
I'll
No, I will say there's no real time constraint other than Saruk's, wanting to get the job done. So if you can talk Saruk down, you can take as much time as you want to heal up.
I mean, when it's clear, when 10 minutes have passed and it's not breaking glass, aka, oh god, they're running away,
Yeah.
then
It sounds like as you're sitting here, it doesn't sound urgent. It does sound like the kind of like talking. It's very sporadic. It's not like constant conversation, but every so often you will hear like the sort of like, welcome to the Yeast of All Brewery. Like somebody's on the other side talking. And
does it sound like it's repeating?
it sounds, yes, it sounds like it's repeating. It's like the same sort of inflection, the same sort of greeting, almost like maybe like something's practicing, like somebody like rehearsing lines or something. But you only heard the glass break once. You haven't heard any more commotion, breaking glass, or anything like that.
So when I hear the same lines with the same inflection repeating over and over, is that a reasonable assumption? Maybe there's a clockwork something or other on the other side. Or like, should I roll before I'm just abject metagaming?
No, I think that's reasonable, and especially someone with like an 18 intelligence. But for constructs don't typically speak. The real like it's not unheard of though for them to speak. But that would be like a sort of an upgrade that someone would have to pay to get a clockwork to speak. And clockworks generally wouldn't be intelligence; they would just be able to, spit
Repeat
out
the same lines over and over.
Yeah, you could have some pre-programmed phrases like a Teddy Ruxpin or something. I guess Teddy Ruxpin had a cassette tape, didn't he? Wow, that was an old take. Anyways,
It fucking was. When the team gets here, I'm gonna raise my shield and open the door.
so you guys are good
I'm
with
ready.
the healing? You guys got healed up enough? Okay.
That grape juice was perfect. I'm ready to go.
So are you opening the door? Like, are you opening it like nice and like solid, or are you trying to do a peek just to see what's on the other side?
Yeah, there's like raise the shield, assuming the door opens out. It's just kind of push open with my shield.
Yep. So,
Not to peek, but like to like get it open.
you get it open and out of the way completely. You can see what appears to be like a small tasting room, and just to your right in the door, it actually looks like a small bar has been set up here. There's a small table with 2 chairs in the corner, but the kind of focus is sort of this long bar, and you can even get a glimpse of like bottles that have kind of been stacked here on the counter, and near the foot of the bar, like on the floor, a recently broken bottle of something and fresh shard glass kind of in that space. There's a metal framed glass double door but the wooden boards have just been nailed across it, like sealing this room in on the outside in. and your eyes though are drawn to the sound, right? Sitting behind the bar, there is this large clockwork creature. So let's see. I never actually showed you guys the full art for the ooze, did I?
You didn't. Jeez.
So this is the yeast ooze.
How did it get the shield?
Ew!
Yeah, that is weird. I wonder if this is. Yeah, I don't know. That's
And
interesting.
Saruk wants to eat that.
Gonna cook
He
it up.
wants to. It'll be edible eventually, not now. Jeez.
But this is what you see on this one. You see this like it's still a medium creature, but it's pretty sizable. It's a clockwork hub that has like gears and like arms, and it kind of propels itself by walking on these hoses. But it looks like almost like a mobile bat, smaller than the one in the other room. But it's like bubbling, and as it moves around, you can see like dripping out of it, like some sort of liquid, some sort of alcohol is like dripping from it, and it's sitting there at the kind of bar top as it like tries to pick up glasses and like fill them, and you watch as it kind of bends down and picks up a glass that's clearly broken and just takes one of its nozzles and says, "Welcome to Yeast of All," and fills it with like liquid that spills over the side, and it says, "Have a nice day," and it like puts it down. This one's behind the bar playing bartender, and this one's over here like cleaning the table and like cleaning the wall, and it turns and like makes eye contact with you and says, "Welcome to Yeast of All Brewery. I need you guys." And then it starts like menacingly like coming towards you.
Oh no.
Yeah. Go ahead, everyone.
Welcome.
And
Oh.
do me a favor and roll initiative. +2 bonus from Hal scouting. Saruk's got that shield raised.
Making it real hard to adopt these adorable NPCs when they're trying to menace us to death.
You might be able to talk them down or shut them off in a
9.
nice way.
9.
But this is not a social encounter, unfortunately.
Ooh.
That's a natural 20 for Effie.
Very nice, very nice.
I'll change my dice.
Perfect. So Saruk gets a 19. Okay. So they immediately, as you kind of come in, they are turning you. They have your they're looking at you. You have their attention, right? And they have this very gentle, soft voice coming out of them, but they are like giant, wound up like machinery that are threateningly coming in your guys' direction. And Reficule, you are up first.
All right, free action. I draw my pistol.
Okay.
I guess I'll sheath it so I can draw it.
Draw, undraw.
You gotta just quick sheath, quick out.
I would have reloaded in that time.
Yes, you absolutely would have, 100%.
I will take my 10 paces
Okay.
and I'll yell out, "Shoot or no shoot, Tusks."
Out of character, how much bigger am I in relation to this door?
Your head is like it comes up to like the bottom of your like nose, so like you can see.
But I'm like,
You're a little taller.
I am very clearly obstructing all of the. Circle just kind of lean as far as he can one direction. Shoot,
Yeah.
not me.
It is a lesser cover for shooting through an alley, but like mechanically you can shoot through an alley.
I shoot Tusks.
No, you coward!
Finally, the time has come.
It's been me all along.
The truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
All right, so I will. I'm
13's gonna
going
be a
to
miss.
use a hero point.
All right, use that hero point.
Yes.
Ooh, there we
great
go.
hero
That's a
point.
29.
29
Nice.
is a even with Saruk blocking partially, that is a critical hit.
Ooh.
And it is not immune to critical damage, so feel free to roll that critical damage.
Yay!
Let's go.
Yeehaw.
Low
10
rolls, though.
damage. Yeah. 2 and a 4,
okay.
unfortunately.
10 points of critical damage. your bullet finds like a weak point and like goes inside and starts like rattling around before shooting out the other end. And you just watch as like about like 3 or 4, like I guess 2 holes like open, and it just starts like stream of like some kind of liquid inside. It starts shooting out like a comical blood stream. But it's not dead. It's just hurt 10 damage.
All right, I'm going to
Actually, I take that back. It resists 3 of that, so it gets 3 back.
Ooh. I'm going to, not really sure, just use Raconteur's Reload. Say, we'll drink you dry, I swear we will. Leave us alone. And I'll try to intimidate it.
It is mindless, unfortunately, so it doesn't work, so you don't have to roll.
Yeah,
but
I talk to Wyvern, so...
sure.
Revy's not too sure about that, so he still does it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's mindless. So is Reffy.
Just mechanically, it's not going to have any effect on.
But so that's my second action.
Uh-huh.
Third action, I will aid who's coming up. I will aid the next attack with a feint.
Perfect. All right. Well, the next one that comes up is the brewer. So this brewer, first of all, it moves right at you, Saruk, and the aggressive nature of its actions as it's coming at you in a very angry manner is kind of juxtaposed. Oh my god!
Juxtaposed?
Yes, it's juxtaposed by the sort of like friendly greeting as you hear a like sort of voice say like, "Oh, make sure you try our smoke side sour 2 for 1 today," and it really just confuses you. So you need to make this is the pre-programmed greeting. I need you to make a will saving throw against this this creature's. It only works once per creature, so. But if you make the will save, you're not going to be affected by it.
Reffy, don't shoot it. It's friendly. What have we done?
It just wants to serve us.
Okay, success. So you're not flat-footed against the attack. And then with its one of its like leg tubes comes up and tries to strike you.
Leg tubes, yeah.
Leg tubes is the best description I can look. Natural 1, and I don't have a hero point. Man, my rolls have been shit tonight.
I'm okay with this.
Right? And then the second, I guess its third and final action is to just do another multiple attack penalty against you. That's a 15, which misses. And that's it. The other one, I guess the other one will like come over and sort of join to see what's going on, but can't actually get in there or do anything.
We're all squeezed in.
Right. I guess it can do one thing. It can try to do one thing. So it tries to
say, "Welcome to the Yeast of All Brewery."
It really can. Okay. So it's going to use Tumble Through.
Oh.
So
it just goes on its side and starts fucking rolling.
It has like a large tube leg, so it goes up and it tries to walk over you guys, right? And through the door, and then over through, muscle its way. I don't know. It's yeah, okay. It's funny if it rolls like it rolls on its side like a barrel, like Donkey Kong barrel through the doorway. Perfect. It has to try to attempt an acrobatics check against Saruk's reflex DC.
Okie dokie.
This is acrobatics. It doesn't have acrobatics, so it's basically a straight roll with dex. So
yeah, that'll do it. You're shooting for a 16. Damn.
So it gets.
Wait, what the fuck is it doing?
It rolls through. It rolls through Saruk and like bounces off his leg and then pops up right here. Technically,
does that trigger an attack of opportunity?
It does. It triggers an attack of opportunity from Hal because it is a move action.
I will take the attack of opportunity,
please, and
make it strike.
It leaves the square that Saruk's in, which it would trigger. Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah. Just double check. 15 is going to be a miss.
15 miss.
Yeah.
I don't have any more hero points.
It does that. It pops up. Bling! It turns its attention at you, Hal, who tried to attack it, and it looks at you and it says, We have the best prices in town. Yeehaw! And I need you to also make a will saving throw against this thing.
Fucking sarsaparilla star bot. Yeah, one more
We
time.
have the best drink specials in town. Yeehaw!
We sampled that, right?
Just enough to make this the saving throw, so you are not affected by it. You're not flat-footed. All right, that's all their actions. Saruk.
Alrighty, so top of the turn, I'm going to our dearest friend who just ran into a strange Connect 4-esque flank. Pretty sneaky, sis. I'm going to devise a stratagem.
All right, gonna be a 14.
Really, really hating a 14 forever. I think I'm just going to shoot the other one instead.
Yep.
I'm going to use my held action and do a feint attack.
That's right. Okay, so add that. Make a deception roll from Refi. 11.
11.
At least it's not enough to hurt. It's not enough to distract Saruk, at least.
Sure. Ruffy, what are you doing?
All right.
How cute!
Didn't need it.
23 is a hit.
23. Brah. Not a lot of damage. And damage.
This is you're doing like a shot.
Yeah, bludgeoning or piercing.
Yep. So it takes. You have bonus damage because you're doing it's precision damage, right? What's your precision damage bonus?
I wish I was the device.
You didn't devise a strategy. You are right. So you deal 1 point of bludgeoning damage, but it's resistant 3 to physical, so it doesn't get through its hard sort of metal wooden keg exterior.
It doesn't get through its hard.
It takes 0 damage from that. Yeah.
God, I guess for my third action, I will just raise my shield.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just keep my shield up and pass.
Yep, shield's up. All right, Hal.
I will try to strike this creature with a snagging strike once more.
Okay.
That is between Reficule and Saruk.
Yep. Ooh, 29 on the dice is a critical hit.
Nice.
29.
29. Woo.
20 points of damage.
Okay. And that is like slashing, right? It resists 3. But it's you still get in. You manage to like slash down and split open a seam, and it's now like just spilling beer right in Ruffy's face.
It is flat-footed until the start of my next turn, or it leaves my 5-foot space.
Yep.
So I think I will make a map attack with my
Okay.
Kopesh.
Perfect.
That is
19 is a hit.
19. Or 11.
11 reduced by 3, which makes it 8.
And then I will use Dueling Parry and end my turn.
Okay. Raise that weapon. Perfect. Anita.
All right. One action to step over here.
Okay.
Okay. Another action to go into overdrive so that I can spend my last action to give 2 to Wybert.
Perfect.
He's
Make
going
that
to use
check.
his first action to go there and then attack him. But
You're gonna make the
first,
overdrive check, right?
Not yet. I'm doing it right now.
Oh yeah. Just make it so we can see if you can hit a critical success.
No, I can't.
That's gonna be a fail. So no, it doesn't backfire, but
nothing
no
happens.
benefit. Yeah.
Yep. So, Wybert is going to hit him. What does he say again? Welcome to the Yeast of Brewery. Wybert smash!
Whoa, welcome.
Boom, 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 boom. A natural 20 for
crits and chat for
Wybert.
Wybert.
Finally, buddy! You just needed to warm up, that's all.
That is a critical hit. Go ahead and...
Just needed a hard reset by wasps.
Yeah. Wow, 4.
You didn't roll the
that's 4
critical
bludgeon.
damage though, right?
Oh, my bad.
So
Here.
it's
That would
8,
be 18 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, 18. It is resistant 3. But even with that, Wybert smashes this thing to death. Smash! And it goes... shutting down.
He's
Thanks
the
for
Tomorrow.
coming. as it like goes dead and just like hangs there immobile.
That's the end of my turn.
Perfect. What a turn it was. Top of the round. Reficule.
All right, I will shoot the one right in front of me.
That one's dead.
Oh.
I'll mark
I will
it.
shoot the one behind Saruk.
Yeah. I didn't mark it with dead, but Wyber just smashed it. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh,
Man, we are good at fucking Pathfinder.
that's another
Damn,
natural.
Refi,
natural
that's
20.
2 critical hits in a row.
Right.
All mine were against oozes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Right.
Let's go. All right, so that is still
Oh my
low
God.
damage.
So low damage, but 10 points
2
of
to
damage.
4 again.
Oh, wait, he gets 3 back because it is resistant 3 to physical.
Same exact damage before. Oh
I'm
well.
gonna roll a 2d10 just to see how better.
Second action, I will reload. Once again, I will make some sort of remark talking to it using Ricardo as reload, but I'm not going to make it's just Refi.
Yep.
You want to end up like your friend here? You better back off, pal. Wybert, why don't you talk some sense into him? And then for my third action, I'm going to aid the next. Well, aid probably. Let's say Hal's attack because Turk's got it by stratagem. So
Okay. And that's all
my
your
turn.
actions, right? All right. Well, the Clockwork Brewer gets to go next. First thing it does is try to hit Saruk with a leg strike.
Oh,
Sweep the
wow.
leg.
Boy, that's a
motion.
nit. Let's just keep the natural 20s rolling.
20.
My God. You're really good at
Damn, what's
Pathfinder,
happening?
Steve. And I'm going to react and block with my shield, of course.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So it's 18 points of bludgeoning damage on the crit.
Nice.
Your shield is a hardness 5, I assume.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So you can reduce that down to 13, and then you and your shield each take 13 points of damage, which, if it's a standard shield, I think breaks your shield.
Rude. Broke my shield.
Yep,
You can
there we go.
repair it after.
Yeah, okay. Your shield sort of shatters. It's not shattered, but it's not functioning as a defensive tool right now because it's been broken. With its second action, after it strikes you with the leg, it kind of like wraps its leg sort of around you, and it's holding you. So it uses the grab action. So now you're grabbed in place, Saruk. And then with its third and final action, it says, what would it say? It would say,
You look thirsty.
how about a sample? And the tube comes out
no.
and goes into your mouth and just it
Oh my
uses
gosh.
it uses an action called bottoms up, and it force serves you a full serving of the alcohol inside of it, which is called Smoke Side Sour. And so you start as the liquid goes inside of you. I need you to make a fortitude saving throw against the effects of the alcohol.
Is that-
58.
that's the stuff at the fucking at home base. They're making me drink the home base brew. Heck. I opened way too many things. Just let me roll. 1d20.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You're completely immune. Like, it doesn't affect you. You can feel like a lesser being would be affected by this much alcohol, but Saruk shrugs it off and is not like inebriated thanks to the thing. And that's its turn. Saruk.
Man,
Careful,
I
everyone.
think
They've got
there's a-
hentai attacks.
Don't fucking remind
You
me.
can fill it with whatever you
Oh
want.
God. That made it worse, Steven. How could you make that worse? So, if it has me grabbed, it is not also flat-footed.
No, you're grappled, but it's not.
Got it. So then for all I'm worth, I'm just gonna tusk the hell out of this thing that's going down my throat.
Phrasing.
Right.
Yeah, so you tusk it. You're able to deal 3 damage to it, but it does resist 3, so your tusks are unable to penetrate the thick, like, tubey thing kind of in your mouth.
Phrasing, Steven!
Right, your second roll is a natural 20, which makes it a critical hit. dealing 8 points. It reduces by 3, so it takes 5 points of damage. You start gnawing through the little tubey tubes.
Ah, the tubey tubes.
Yeah, and that one is a critical miss.
Okay, pass turn.
All right. Saruk, Quint, Hal.
Like this, can I attack it from the door? It's going to have cover, I assume, but can I still?
It'll
attack
have
it
partial
if I
cover,
move?
but you can absolutely attack it. Yeah.
All right, I'll move up. I will move up and target the beast, the brewer,
The
Clockwork.
beast.
and make a snagging strike with my Kopesh.
All right. It's got Saruk grabbed. You're going to try to grab it.
I would. I'll
Oh, that's true. It does trigger. So go ahead and make your aid check, Ruffy.
right. Perception. Might get a +1 there.
Oh,
All right,
do
that's
get
a
a +1
that's a
there.
+1, which takes it to a 15, but that's still not enough. It does miss. It's like the Saruk's big and he's in the doorway, and it's like got him held there, and it's
Yeah.
hard to find the shot, and it just doesn't get through.
I think I'm going to take a map attack.
Perfect. Take that map attack. Oh, I was like natural 20. No, the other
No.
side of the spectrum. That is a natural 1. You just don't find
It is
your
my
opening.
turn.
All right. Anita.
okay. Maybe you did. Okay. One action to see if I can get Wybird into overdrive.
Yep.
So
Make
that
that
would
crafting
be.
check.
Mhm. That's
It's a success.
17. Okay. And then 2 actions to give Wybird 3, and
Okay.
he just has to do a tumble through this
Yeah,
clock
he'd have to tumble
right?
through the clockwork.
as an
yeah.
action, right?
Yes. It's an
1,
acrobatics
2,
check. You stride up to your speed. So what's his speed?
25.
Yeah, so he'd be able to get through in one thing.
Okay.
So
And
he makes
then-
his acrobatics check against the reflex of the clockwork brewer, which I'll tell you is a your DC is a 20 here.
A 20?
Yes.
Damn. Mary Chrysler. Got
Do
a
you
+7.
believe?
In Chrysler.
Wow. In love after love.
Right. So Wybird strides to where as far as he can get, but he can't get further than here. He makes his way in, and Saruk and the thing's blocking, and he ends up like getting stuck there with after his first action.
Okay. Can he use his second action to try again?
Yes.
Okay.
Tumble through is just a move action. There's no other tags to it, so there's no penalty. Go ahead and do it again.
Okay. Merry Christmas. That's
Ooh,
a
he
20.
does it.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that,
25.
you're able to move through the ally or move through the enemy and get to the other side.
It won't let me.
So it doesn't do the whole like barrel roll thing, but Wybird is able to
Okay.
sort of like just maneuver his way through under the legs of the creature and come on the other side.
All right. Perfect. So with his final action, he'll do a Wybird smash. That's a 21 to hit.
That's a hit.
So close to natural 20.
No.
Gingy
So
Ginger
for-
now
that
following.
would
Thanks
be-
for the support
9 points of bludgeoning damage with
Damush.
with 2
plus
extra,
2.
right?
Yeah, with
Plus
that,
2
with
and
an
then
extra
minus
2
3
from
with
overdrive.
the resistance. So a total of 8 damage.
Yes. It's 8 damage. That's it for my
It's
turn.
Damush.
Perfect. Ruffy.
All right. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm going to shoot it.
Go for it. Uh, 16 is a miss.
Right. Second action for counters reload. We're gonna end up spilled milk all over this floor, friend. And then I'm going to map attack him.
Go for it. Gingy Ginger says, I'm here to learn PF2 and watch shenanigans. And you know what? We got plenty of shenanigans.
Oh,
going
you're in the
on.
right channel.
Horse fucking noises.
Not for me, so
A 12 is also going to miss, unfortunately.
that's the end of my turn.
All right, the brewer gets to go. So first action.
God
Oh,
damn
boy.
it, Ricardo.
First action extends the grab and continues the grab. Second action, leg strike on Saruk.
Ooh.
Natural 1 is not going
Yeah.
to do anything. That is a critical miss. Nothing triggers on a critical miss yet, I don't think. Third action, would you like some more? Just another mouthful of like frothy, like sour side brew trying to go down your mouth. You're
Oh,
gonna
gosh.
need to make another fortitude save for me on Saruk.
It's okay, I'm gonna die very inebriated. It's all good. I think it's hero point in time.
That is a fail.
Yes.
Hacha!
Oh,
So
my
natural 20.
goodness.
Oh.
So good at Pathfinder.
You managed to take the second like entire
What
like
were these rolls
mug
last
full
time?
of liquid into you without being inebriated. Yeah, and that's all 3 of its actions.
So then, for what it's worth, I'm now into my second round of not being able to breathe. Don't know what the mechanic is. Am going to hit it with my teeth until it is dead.
It's interesting.
Because that is the only
It doesn't
weakness
mention
I
that
have.
it's actually suffocating you as much as it's just constant. Like it does like a squirt, and then you're like and breathing, and then another one comes out like a few seconds later. So you're not suffocating per se.
Oh, fair. I saw a can't breathe. I'm like, oh god.
Until the start of its turn. So yeah.
Right.
Oh, so maybe you're
Cool.
right then. Maybe I missed an actual thing. Oh, that's under the other
So
ability.
it's like I couldn't breathe this turn, then it went around it, and then I could
Got
breathe.
it.
I
So
couldn't.
you couldn't do like verbal spells or anything.
Yeah. Does a 16 hit with the flank?
It's a 14, right? So 14 total, and then its AC.
Yeah, but-
No, it misses. It's just off.
Nice.
Boo. Boo.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I think second action, I'm going to interact to get to the melee mode of my mace multi-pistol.
Flip it over to the other side.
And then I'm gonna roll really badly and miss, right?
No.
Yeah.
No,
that has
we've
to
rolled
be-
like 4 or 5 natural 20s.
Chrysler, where are you in my time of need?
7's a miss.
That's my turn. Fucking Chrysler.
All right, Hal.
Hal will attempt to strike this creature with his Kopesh
Okay.
and
Kopesh?
use snagging strike.
Oh,
As a-
there's the natural 20 we were looking for.
Every
Thank you,
single
Chrysler.
person has rolled a natural 20 tonight.
Bring it, including the GM.
That never happens. Including the GM. A good
Mhm,
GM
yeah,
murdering
including
me
the
with a
GM,
fucking
yeah.
beer pot.
Not enough to finish it, but you do manage to like snag it, get like one of its legs like off balance, and it's now like flat-footed to anyone.
I will take a map attack.
Bring it on.
17.
17 is exactly what you need to hit it, given the flat-footed and like partial
Ooh.
thing. 8 points total, and
11.
get 3 minus 3
Eight.
because it's resistant, so 8. And you manage to like basically like rip its like entire leg out, and the whole thing falls over and just like begins like glugging over. It's dead. You finished off the last of these clockwork brewers, and it's like y'all come back now. You hear?
Should have listened, friend. Should have listened.
And that
Save
takes
some
us.
for me. a real-
That takes us to
Save
the
some for
end
me.
of that combat. We've defeated the Clockwork Brewers. Congratulations. You now have access to many, many gallons of the alcohol that it has inside of it if you'd like to take some.
Oh.
We'll be able to loot them and kind of go over the room. But we're kind of past time. We went a little over, but you guys rolled enough natural 20s to speed through that fight.
Good.
About time.
You know,
Good
we
guy.
Y'all
Good
remember
guy.
that point where I was going to be like, let's do this without the full party. It'll be totally fine to do this without all hands on deck. I've never been so wrong.
On the plus side, you've cleared it out before Gattlebee, and if you find what he's looking for, which we never even found yet, unless you have thought you figured it out,
It's the wasps.
it's the wasp.
It's always
There's
the
one more
wasps.
room. I see that.
We gotta get a bottle. We gotta get that bottled wasp trap. That's so goddamn exciting.
But it is interesting that we started with the wasp was the deadliest thing here, the wasp, right? And then you guys made the oozes look. You got scared of the oozes, but you made the oozes. You made short work of them. You did pretty good. And then these clockwork brewers. The only one who really was, perhaps violated was Saruk.
Perhaps my
Forced to drink alcohol against your will. All of this. You can thank Vanessa Hoskins. I just ran the abilities that she wrote. Anyhow.
Man!
Vanessa, did you join the same frat that I did?
Yeah, right. I'm like, I remember.
That's going to do it for us this week in Alkenstar. Big thanks to Ninna, Ricardo, Richard, and Tommy playing with me. It's been a fun night, an action-packed night, a lot of combat, a lot of rolls, and a lot of ingenuity, because as the last thing I think we see on camera-wise is the room with like the cold orb. It's just turning that whole room into like a freezer, and like very slowly you see the wasp getting lethargic, and most of them like fly out of the room to like leave it. That is absolutely a creative solution that I think deals with the wasp, because the internet
should have got a hero point.
Yeah, I mean that's probably true. We probably should have given a hero. But we'll start next session with an extra hero point for Saruk on that one.
Nice. That's me.
But before we sign off for the night, I want to give a big shout out to everyone who made this possible. I'm talking, of course, about our patrons.
Patrons!
Yep,
Thank
our
you.
patrons. You guys
Toss a coin
support
to
us.
your witcher.
Yeah, are able to toss a coin to your... We need a better...
To those guys.
Yeah.
Everyone who isn't me.
Right? Toss a coin to us. That is big shout out by name. David Sims, Derek Brewer, Sandra Wagner, Mikkel Waltz, and Jason Irvin for joining us as our Patreon supporters. You make this sort of content possible, and all the other stuff we do on this channel. It gives you access to cool channels on Discord, so you can chat with us directly and have all the access. If you have questions about these characters, they're contractually obligated to answer them if you ask them in secret chat. Is that true? I just made it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true now. It's canon. It's in the wiki.
But all of your
signing in blood.
Yeah. But all your support just goes a long way in making and what we do possible. So thanks.
Thank you.
As well, big thanks to Molten Hosting for providing our server hosting and making it so easy and allowing me to do crazy, silly skits at the top of each episode. Use the referral code Recall Knowledge. That is
One word.
One word. It's
One
one
word.
word.
It's one word.
It's not two.
And you get your first month absolutely free on any tier plan they have, even up to the highest. Check them out, moltenhosting.com. Make sure you go check out Tommy on Black Dragon Gaming on YouTube. You got any good new content this week to pitch?
Oh, God. Yeah, this week I'm working on a very old... So I've been doing... It'll be in like 2 weeks. BDG will have been a channel for 5 years.
Nice.
And I was, for a long time, I was the only content creator in the space. So consequently, my request line is about... yay big-ish. And so it's come to a point where it comes around, I just roll dice. And sometimes it'll be like, yes, let's talk about that thing that came out in Guns and Gears and do that. And sometimes it'll be something from like 3 fucking years ago. It'll be like some very old, obscure-ass 1E build that makes not a lot of sense, but I've played a lot of 1E and still do. So I really enjoy, like, here's this really... No one used this Magus archetype. Let's figure out how to fix it. And I'm... After like staying up till 5 a.m, going again, and then scrapping it, and then going again, and then scrapping it, and doing the things I was doing before it was a job, basically sitting in the lab. This week, it's the Mind Blade archetype for the Magus, which I'm guessing is going to have a similar-ish come out in Dark Archive around the corner in 2E. And then probably something else down the road. We'll see what the request line does for Toppa next week. Grab one of the ancestries that I haven't quite done a video about in 2E and be like, here's all the dumb stuff it can get up to.
And so they can head over to your Patreon and subscribe there to get their requests in the queue. Is that how it works?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Gets thrown in. I've said for so long, the top of the line, the secret is here's the Patreon request line. The non-Patreon request line doesn't fit in my apartment at all. But gets you Google Sheets with way too many 1e2e Starfinder builds, gets you all of my homebrew stuff. Actually, thinking about that, I made this really cool homebrew ancestry for 2e that it starts out kind of as this little, like, there's a sentient tree in the woods and it bears fruit, and that fruit becomes, if you imagine like a leshy but made out of fruit, and its whole shtick is to go out into the world and learn random things about the world so it can come back to the grove, die, its seed is planted, it joins this hive mind plant grove to share the knowledge of the, like, everywhere, on and on and on. They're called the Natal, and they are going to be released on Eldritch Osiris, I believe, Monday.
Ooh.
If I remember correctly. I'll give these folks links to give y'all folks links.
For sure.
My very first foray into the world of Pathfinder Infinite, and I'm very, very, very excited about it.
That's cool. So by the time
So
you're
you're
watching
saying
this on
I can-
YouTube, it's available.
Yeah.
So you're saying I can play as a durian?
Yeah, kind of. It's a lot of the inspiration came from, like, definitely not the Avatar, the James Cameron Avatar, and then, like, I don't know where the hell else any of it came from. Just like, Oh no, it came from, I was running a game set in one of the Final Fantasy universes, and so it came from random anime fever dreams. That's where that ancestry came from.
That makes sense.
Right, it does. It really does.
Just like Vanessa dreamed up some random anime
Fucking right.
tubs of
Magic
like,
Cat Girl
right?
transformation.
Well, no, but these I don't.
The brewery.
I don't want to get demonetized on YouTube. Yeah.
I mean,
anyhow, thank you guys for playing. I go by Tommy's thing that'll be out next week. We'll be back next Wednesday, July 13th.
And we will have a special announcement next Wednesday.
Are we committing to that?
We're committing to that.
All right. Stay tuned for the start of the episode next week. We're gonna have a cool announcement coming your way. You'll be able to see it on YouTube, Twitter, or live here on Twitch first, followed by the release on the other channels. It is going to be pretty cool. It's kind of like what we're gonna get up to next here on Recon Knowledge. No spoilers, but it'll be
Tune
fun
in
and different. Tune in.
and you can also catch what happens to the Molten Cowboy and crew.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't you guys want to know what happened to the Molten Cowboy? Pew pew pew.
I do. I legitimately
Bang,
do. A bang bang.
We can pivot the whole campaign to just play out the Molten Cowboy saga in Pathfinder.
In that moment when we were doing that, I shit you not, I regretted wholeheartedly not building a mounted character
Right?
for the, like, cowboy on the horse with the rifle and just be like a halfling with a pony prancing around on the catwalk being a cavalier and just shooting.
For sure.
I die.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
the
of
back
places in here where that would be very useful. And there's other places where they're, inside the brewery. There's a lot of space in here. You can mount up in the brewery, right?
Should we raid someone?
Yeah, stay tuned. We will raid someone. You got someone find me somebody that we should raid, and I will kick it off. But otherwise, we'll be back next week for the next episode. It'll be episode 10 of Punks and a Powderkeg. Wow, that's kind of cool. So until then, make sure you stay safe, you stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Good night.
Yes,
Ooh,
Marty, I
there we
forgot.
go.
How could you forget? It's so important.
We need on the catwalk. I don't have a button to go to like ending soon. We're not out yet.
Oh, really?
Oh shit.
We're out. I do have it.